Our protagonist wakes from an eternal slumber, only to realize he's already kicked the bucket. He'd been rotting away for ages while people celebrated his funeral. Now, his journey begins on floor 8. In the desolate deadlands of the 8th floor, the sound of heavy boots echoes through the air. A squad of elite soldiers follows Kazuki's every lead. Suddenly, he halts, signaling the group to stop. With a grim expression, Kazuki declares they are about to attempt the impossible. Their mission: slay the 8th floor guardian. This alliance raid is their only ticket to the 9th floor. The soldiers step aside as a new group approaches. Kazuki's eyes sharpen as he spots the newcomers. It's the Blue Eyes Guild. Their leader, wearing a mask, flashes a deceptively warm smile. Approaching with ease, Subaru offers a polite apology for his supposed lateness. Kazuki shakes his hand with a grin, noting that Subaru is actually the first to arrive. Subaru mentions the martial arts team's involvement, prompting a sigh from Kazuki about Mizubaru's leadership. He assumes they're just here to scavenge. Kazuki's hand drifts to his blade as he speaks. Subaru hints that if they're looking for scraps, he's got something much better in store. He drops a shimmering relic into Kazuki's palm. A system alert blares, blessing of the Archangel. A stunned Kazuki stares at the item, while Subaru explains it's just a safety net for the raid. Kazuki tries to refuse, insisting Subaru needs the protection more than he does. Subaru shuts him down, asking if Kazuki plans to rejoin Blue Eyes once the dust settles. He tells him to return it then, but Kazuki can't hide the sudden wave of melancholy. Subaru offers a reassuring pat, telling him he can keep the relic forever if he chooses. A deafening roar shatters the moment. Subaru tenses up, warning that the beast has arrived. Kazuki's shocked it showed up so fast. The entire raid party gathers as the Guardian emerges. The monstrous Venom Dragon Hydra reveals its grotesque heads. Kazuki screams for everyone to brace for impact. Staring up at the nightmare, he realizes they're facing a terrifying chimeric abomination. Dark energy swirls around Subaru's hand as the system syncs with his very soul. In a voice cold as the grave, he declares the beast's time is up. The Hydra reacts. The monster's heads erupt in a unified roar, charging a lethal blue sphere of energy. Kazuki panics, ordering a full retreat before the breath attack hits. But Subaru doesn't budge. Subaru stands his ground, ignoring the confusion as the Hydra prepares its ultimate strike. As the monster's roar vibrates through the floor, Subaru calmly reaches for his hilt. With one swift motion, he unleashes a dark slash that collides head-on with the Hydra's power. Kazuki just sighs, knowing Subaru is always this extra. Chino rushes over, praising his insane skills. She's hyped about his training paying off, while Saigo grumbles about being too slow to strike. Reina watches curiously, asking Subaru what secret item he just handed over to Kazuki. Subaru responds with a cryptic smirk, telling her she'll witness the results soon enough. He rallies the troops, ready to turn this oversized lizard into a memory and conquer Floor 8. The vanguard charges into the fray, but Kazuki stays behind, watching the chaos unfold. He mutters about how united they look, just as a shadow creeps up behind him. A hidden operative confirms that their secret forces are finally in position. A chilling smirk crosses Kazuki's face as he gives the green light to begin the real plan. The subordinate wishes him luck as Kazuki turns his cold gaze back to the burning battlefield. Through the storm of battle, a lone warrior charges toward the beast with reckless abandon. The Hydra's eyes glow crimson as it spits bolts of lethal lightning from its gnashing jaws. Jenna dives straight into the danger zone, ignoring Segan's desperate shouts to slow down. She shoots a sharp look back, mocking him for still not being used to her chaotic style. Sigan barks a warning for her to watch her back, just as Yak lunges forward. Let's see who's the real DPS carry here. A crimson tidal wave flooded the arena, echoed by a primal, beastly howl. As they launched a pincer maneuver, he let out a low growl. But before he could act, Yak's voice cut through the chaos. Loser picks up the tab for dinner. Flashing a smirk, he swung his blade in a devastating arc. The beast crashed down. My bad, Chino, Yak called out. But Chino didn't flinch, her mana beginning to surge. Focus on the offense, she snapped back. Manifesting a massive barrier, she declared, I've got the defense covered. Suddenly, Kazuki materialized behind her. Hey, Chino, he whispered coldly. Can your shield handle this? A blindside strike shattered her concentration before she could react. Seriously, Kazuki's voice dripped with icy disdain. This is the cost of your pathetic ego. Feeling the shift in the air, Subaru snapped his gaze toward them. Subaru. Her voice cracked as she crumpled to the floor. Standing over her was Kazuki, wearing a chilling dark grin. Veins throbbed around Subaru's eyes as pure rage took hold. Eyes on the prize, Subaru, Kazuki mocked. You don't have the luxury of looking away. In that split second, the poison dragon lunged at his throat. Kazuki. Why? Subaru gasped, voice trembling with betrayal. Suddenly, a glowing system interface flickered into existence. The tower has selected you. Ascend its heights, and brace yourself for the inevitable beginning. The notification broadcasted to every soul. Was this a divine gift from the tower, or a death sentence in disguise? To this day, the true intent behind those words is shrouded in shadow. No one knows the sender's identity or motive. We were just pawns driven by an irresistible force to reach the summit at any cost. A peak untouched by mortals. Warriors from Earth, Muram Juntiza, Elpha, and Lucan, joined the fray. Beings from across the multiverse, burdened by their own fates, pushed upward through the floors. The once blue sky was now choked by thick smog and ash. Carcasses of poison dragons littered the frozen wasteland. The dust settled on the battlefield, but victory demanded a heavy price in heroes' blood. Gasping for air, a battered Subaru struggled to stand within the 8th floor boss chamber. Deep inside the Red Dragon Hydra's den, he roared in agony. "I told you idiots to get out of here." They had ignored him. Somehow they'd managed to slay the beast that legends called immortal. Surveying his fallen friends, Subaru let out a guttural scream. "I never gave you guys permission to die." Everyone he loved was gone. "You absolute fools," he sobbed. Meanwhile, the system alerts began to chime relentlessly. Status poisoned. Natural healing. Nullified. Fatigue 94. If only he could turn back the clock. He knew their response by heart. Death at 100 fatigue. A fitting end for the legendary Milo King. He glared at the man behind the curtain. "Why?" he whispered. What was the point of all this? Kazuki's smirk sent Subaru into a frenzy. "Answer me, Kazuki Kyozo," he bellowed. Kazuki sat down casually in front of his broken friend. 15 years, Subaru. I've spent 15 years chasing this moment. I had to do this. It was the only way I could ever truly surpass you. I needed you distracted. Your precious Blue Eye Guild would have just been a nuisance, wouldn't they? They had to go. Your pity and gifts were like poison to me. I chose the world over our friendship. It had to happen. It is a pity it ended like this, but I'm finally witnessing the finale. Oh, and one more thing. I won't be needing to return this right. The blue eyes will die along with you today. Wipe that look off your face. You'll die a hero. It is not like you will be here to see otherwise. You only hear what fits your narrative," Subaru rasped. He fought to keep his hands from shaking with rage. His fingers dug deep into the blood-stained earth as he scanned the carnage, his mind racing for a solution. His eyes narrowed as the grim reality set in. There was no way he was walking away from this. "But I'm not going down without a fight." Kazuki's head snapped around, eyes wide with sudden primal fear. "Impossible," Kazuki shrieked. A golden system window erupted. As a legendary class user, Subaru lunged forward. "I have still got some gas in the tank, you piece of trash," Subaru roared. System notification: 4 uses remaining. 4 more shots, he realized. And 4 members of the Blue Eyes are still breathing out there. He launched his final gambit, praying they would make it out. "Kill them," Kazuki screamed in a panic. "Don't let a single survivor escape." One of his lackeys signaled the squad. "Move out now." A massive magic circle pulsed at the center of the void. Blood leaked from Subaru's lips as he thrust his hand toward the heavens. He detonated his mana. "None of you are leaving this place alive." A red alert flared. His fatigue was redlining. 95% exhaustion. With the Thunder King's shield failing, Subaru had no choice but to go all out. Advent of the Thunder King. The enemy scoffed in irritation. "Subaru, you're just a persistent cockroach, aren't you? Your body is literally falling apart." The system pinged 96% fatigue reached. His voice was pure frost. "I don't care what Kyozo promised you losers to get you to do his dirty work. But prepare to pay with your souls. Because starting now, nobody leaves this hell without my say-so." The enemy felt the shift in atmosphere. Tension snapped, and they lunged forward in a desperate wave. It was ride or die. Blades gleamed in the dim light. Steeling himself for the impact, Subaru's mind raced. Usually these fodder wouldn't stand a chance. He tightened his grip and twirled his blade. But if Kazuki stepped in, that changes the game. Mowing down these extras is draining me. My fatigue is the real enemy here. Vision blurring, Subaru fought to stay conscious. He was at his limit. Then for just one split second, he slipped. A cold blade pierced his back. Pain exploded in his chest as crimson sprayed from his mouth. Warning: fatigue at 98%. Ignoring his mangled body, Subaru spun around, unleashing a bloody counterstrike. A tragic light washed over the battlefield. His legs buckled and his sword clattered to the stones. Kazuki cheered. "Finally, we did it. Subaru Natsuki is dead." But suddenly, Subaru materialized inches from his face, his voice chilling. "Who exactly did you kill?" In an instant, his body erupted into a violent storm of lightning. Kazuki's body charred instantly. As the volts faded, his eyes rolled back in pure agony. He hit the dirt hard. Grabbing the steel buried in his side, Subaru felt his own consciousness fading. He slowly slumped over. The crowd roared. "He's down. Is the monster finally dead?" Kazuki lurked nearby, watching like a vulture. No way his legend ended like this. The system screamed fatigue at 99%. Critical danger. Absolute exhaustion reached. Hit 100% and it's game over. Subaru glared at his rival. "Kazuki, you of all people should know." His legs were shaking, barely holding up his weight. Suddenly, Subaru let out a feral roar. "Draw your sword, I'm taking the win." His eyes burned with pure malice. "Archangel's blessing activate, I'm surviving this." No matter what, I'm living through this. Kazuki's pupils dilated in terror. Before he could blink, Subaru's blade was hovering at his throat. Impossible, he gasped. Subaru stared him down. In the end, I'm the one who stands tall. Talking tough while looking like a corpse, Kazuki spat. I just need to see him stop breathing. That last bolt had to land. It's weird. Why am I thinking this right before the end? Is this eternal darkness my new home? This is literal hell. Wait, what's that? Why does everything smell so foul? That stench. It's familiar. Clang. A trash lid hit the pavement. Subaru woke up inside a dumpster. He looked around, dazed. Is this salvation? Suddenly, a system window flickered to life. Name Subaru Hosoi. Origin Earth. He froze in shock. Subaru Hosoi. Who the hell is that supposed to be? What kind of trash tier status window is this? He roared. This name is a total mismatch for this face. And I'm from Earth. Those people are total losers. Bystanders began to snicker. Look at this guy. What's his deal? You here to be our punching bag. Exactly. Subaru Natsuki was a legendary freak of nature. No one could even touch his shadow. 25 years. Subaru Natsuki died over 2 decades ago. Then who am I? He scrambled out of the garbage, trembling. Is this some kind of sick joke? A dream? He tried to move but collapsed onto the hard ground with a thud. He stared at the object in front of him, doubt gnawing at his mind. He grabbed the player tool. If I can just activate this. He tapped the screen, searching for blue eyes. A result popped up. Lamku, the powerless heir of the Blue Eyes Guild. The mystery of Lamku. He carries the torch, inheriting the legacy of both Blue Eyes and Subaru Natsuki himself. Guildmaster Kyozo is set to dominate the next tournament. Seeing that name mentioned alongside the tragedy 25 years ago, he was floored. No freaking way. Subaru's eyes widened as he stared at the face in the digital photo. That bastard is still alive. The man on the screen was a face he'd never forget, Kazuki Kyozo. They weren't always at each other's throats. Subaru flashed back to their old days. What's the deal? Why call me out so late? Subaru, I'm bailing on Blue Eyes. He dropped the bomb. You were totally blindsided, weren't you? Out of nowhere, Kazuki pushed, I want you to tell the squad for me. Friend Subaru once believed that. He whispered, you will get it eventually. Don't sweat it, even gone, I will always be your shadow. Years bled by before Kazuki resurfaced with a new guild rocking a name they once used as a joke, Lamku. That was the shadow he had promised, yet here he was, still rotting on the 9th floor. 25 years and zero progress. Suddenly, Subaru's world tilted as his eyes nearly popped from their sockets. The news flashed images of massive crowds swarming the Subaru Natsuki Memorial Hall. Memories frozen for 25 years. Chills shot down his spine, his own memorial. Subaru stood paralyzed before the entrance of the massive monument. Shook and disbelieving, he muttered, this place is way more extra than I imagined. A mask sat enshrined. Every soul in the room was hyper-focused on that single mask. Bewildered, Subaru's mind began to race. What is the point of mourning me, he wondered, his feet feeling like lead scanning the cold hall. Subaru spiraled, questioning who would orchestrate this circus, and why. What could they possibly gain from this? A voice boomed, triggering a massive headache. He was our North Star, the eternal hero of the Blue Eyes Guild. The legend who never tasted defeat, the man roared. To forever honor him and his fallen brothers. Pure horror washed over Subaru. Is this a sick joke? Then Kazuki's voice echoed, we built this sanctuary. Fury boiled in Subaru's blood, veins bulging. That absolute snake Kazuki, he hissed. He is actually claiming. Subaru, Natsuki, and Blue Eyes are history, he preached, but Lamku remains to carry their noble torch. His knuckles turned white as he raged inside. Shut it, stop lying, was not killing me enough for you. Fine, if that is the play, I will give you a performance. The sermon continued, slick and manipulative. Proclaiming that Natsuki would never return, Subaru saw red. Just wait, Kazuki wore a mask of fake grief. We will never let them fade. Subaru's spirit recoiled. I am rewriting this story from the very beginning. This second life will not be squandered. Suddenly, a weak hand reached out and snagged his leg. Subaru hauled the frail body up. Yo, you okay? He shouted, shaking them until they finally looked up. Subaru froze in terror. They were wearing his own mask. 2 people rushed over, yelling, sorry, Minato, you all right? You good? My bad, we just collided. Are you sure nothing is broken? We are so sorry. He stood there, dazed. Them too, Subaru, spun around, and what he saw next was pure nightmare fuel. What the hell? He rubbed his eyes frantically, heart hammering against his ribs in sheer panic. What is this madness? Everyone was wearing his face. The mask from his past life was everywhere. Kazuki's icy voice cut through. A tragedy had ended like this. But do not weep. Death made you a hero. The realization hit Subaru like a freight train. So, that is your game. His gaze sharpened into daggers. Burning with pure loathing, Subaru cut through the mob, heading straight for his own massive memorial portrait. Drowned in fresh flowers, Subaru realized this was all just a stage for Kazuki to steal the spotlight, to hijack the Blue Eyes' glory. Suddenly his hate evaporated into shock. White chrysanthemums were glowing blue. The sapphire light shimmered in his widening eyes as the rowdy crowd shoved him around violently. "Watch it, pal. Wait your turn," people barked as he tried to escape. Like a zombie, he moved. Subaru drifted toward the portrait and brushed the light. His heart stopped. Could it really be you, Shigasagi? Is that you? Scene change on a lonely rooftop. A mysterious figure watched the glowing city below. Shiga sighed. "We survived this year's chaos again." The woman behind him kept her tone light and breezy. "A second later, and Lamku would have caught us. But seriously, is this anniversary ritual actually necessary? Leaving the flowers should be plenty." He tipped his hat gently. "You never know, Subaru might just spot them." "You honestly think that kid is still breathing?" she pressed. Shiga stared out. "I have not seen a body." Xena scoffed. "Kazuki would find us long before we found him. And let us be real for a second. If he were alive, we would not have spent 25 years rotting on the sidelines like idiots." As the sun dipped and birds scattered, Subaru broke down in the shadows, sobbing like a lost child. His mind raced. Is she actually out there? Clutching the flower, he whispered her name into the wind. Sig, so this is where Subaru Hosoi lived. Quite the dump, honestly. And those blue eyes, still a total mystery. Tossing the laptop aside, Subaru grit his teeth. Sig has to be alive. She is lurking out there just hiding. Was Kaiser behind this chaos? With his twisted ego, he would never let a witness breathe easy. Did Sig really survive solo? I am not even sure if the blast wiped out all four of them back then. But with Kaiser reigning supreme, reaching out now is a straight-up death wish. I am too weak to move. Forcing it now just paints a target on my back. He stared at the mask. Glancing at his trembling palms, Subaru made a vow. First things first, I need to reclaim my lost power. He white-knuckled his blade. Memories flooded back. The player tutorial was kicking off in exactly 2 days. Fingers traced the cold steel as his resolve hardened. Survival is the only mission. As long as we are breathing, reunion is inevitable. The scene shifts to the testing hall, where Tiga stood like a stone wall, arms crossed. His gaze was razor-sharp. Before him a recruit collapsed, drowning in a pool of his own sweat and exhaustion. Tiga loomed over him, voice like ice. "You passed. But do you actually have the guts for the next phase?" The man stammered, his eyes glued to the glowing system prompt. "System, do you wish to proceed?" "Hell no," he shrieked. "Are you nuts? There is zero chance I am taking on 3 at once." "Pipe down, you are giving me a migraine," Tiga groaned. With a flick, the coward vanished into thin air. "I still get the pass," right? The man's voice echoed. Tiga just sighed at the pathetic display. Trash recruits everywhere. Aside from Jin's kid hitting level 20, everyone else is a total joke. Standards have hit rock bottom. This generation is cooked. Suddenly, a figure on the screen caught his eye. A lone warrior entered his heavy blade, carving a trail through the dirt. That name carries some serious weight. Though names do not mean jack if you die here. Let us see it. Subaru faced the system window. Face like stone, he read the notification. System spawning 2 goblins. Objective: eradicate the targets. "Start the clock," Tiga muttered. But before the words left his mouth, Subaru became a blur of motion. Tiga blinked, stunned. Wait, did something just fly by? By then the monsters were already severed meat. A smirk played on Subaru's lips. Those 2 days of limit testing were worth every second. This new vessel is built different. System advanced to the next challenge. He did not hesitate. Click yes. I do not have time to waste on these low-level mobs. Let us speedrun this. Tiga gasped, his heart skipping a beat. A severed monster head rolled to a stop right at his feet. Pure shock washed over him. What is this kid? What did I just witness? He watched Subaru, mesmerized. He is not just swinging, Tiga realized. He is reading their moves 3 steps ahead of time. Subaru's grip tightened until his knuckles turned bone white. Tiga's breath hitched. That is not just skill. Even I cannot move with that much precision. Unless he is the reincarnation of Subaru Nazukiyami. The blade descended like a guillotine, carving through monsters. Subaru's gaze remained chillingly indifferent. System level 49 cleared. Challenge the final boss. The prompt hung in the air, glowing blue. Summon it, he commanded. The atmosphere fractured reality itself, trembling under the weight of Subaru's presence. Fissures spider-webbed across the floor as white veins pulsed. Then a massive, gnarled hand tore through the earth. "Stop, you moron," Tiga roared. "You are not Nazukiyami. Quit now, if you want to keep your head." A deafening roar shook the hall. The Goblin King arrived. System level 49 offering detected. The king is enraged. Tiga's face went pale. "Tap out. It is not worth throwing your life away. This is a suicide mission, plain and simple. Do not let your ego get you killed. The stat gap is a canyon you cannot jump." But Subaru's eyes burned. "I know my stats suck. I can barely scratch this beast." He felt the cold hilt in his palm. "But I am not backing down." Then Subaru did the unthinkable. He dropped his sword. Tiga screamed. Why did he disarm himself? Has he finally snapped? I knew this kid was a loose cannon from the very beginning. As the king lunged, an arrow whistled through the air, piercing the beast's leg with deadly accuracy. The king's roar turned to a confused whimper. Nearby, Subaru crouched low, venom-coated darts ready to fly. The Goblin King stared down in shock, his mind failing to process the situation. Subaru didn't stop. "Wanna bet? Who drops first, me or you as a pincushion?" Without another word, Subaru lunged forward. Enraged, the beast let out a blood-curdling screech and charged its massive frame, moving with terrifying speed. It swung a heavy fist, but Subaru was a ghost weaving through the assault with lethal grace. A memory flickered back when his darts couldn't even sniff the bullseye during his early training days. Then Xena stepped in, scoffing at his form. "Watch and learn," she said, demonstrating the perfect throw. "Master the center of gravity," she explained, "and even a pebble becomes a deadly weapon of war." Thwack dead center. Now Subaru channeled her voice, letting his instincts take total control of his body. He tagged the monster's throat, before burying another jagged needle deep into its rotting green flesh. "Power is just math," Subaru grinned. "Spin plus precision minus a single shred of hesitation or doubt." Xena's lesson really paid off. Nearby, Tega watched the boy in stunned silence. "The poison debris won't vanish yet. I'm actually relying on a low-tier gimmick I used to despise." This wasn't just basic swordplay, it was a lethal fusion of blades and hidden projectile mastery. After watching the kid, he muttered, "He's a total prodigy. A true genius." Prodigy didn't even cover it. Leaking blood from a dozen holes, the king finally hit the dirt. Subaru gripped his blade. "Nothing personal, big guy." One clean stroke, and the fatal blow landed. Ding, Goblin King slain. Tutorial stage 50 cleared. First time completion bonus achieved. "Seriously, this is just the tutorial," Subaru sighed. "The training phase shouldn't feel like a deathmatch." Level up, prestige gained. Achievement points flooded in, and the exclusive tutorial shop finally unlocked. A one-time shop, let's see. He had 2,425 points to burn right now. This was a total curveball. He'd never even heard of this hidden menu before opening it up. Prices ranged from 5 to 200. He was rich. But then one legendary item caught his eye. Subaru's eyes went wide. "No way. Nameless Demon Sword. Price 1,000 achievement points. An S-rank blade that devours the user's soul and health to grant godlike physical buffs and power. A failed masterpiece from the legendary smith Cinder Z." Finding a Z original here was straight up insane. It was peak gear, but was he really ready to trade his lifespan for raw, destructive power? Mithril sword price 1,400 points. It boosted endurance and slashed fatigue accumulation. A divine blade, blessed by the Holy Church. Subaru chewed his lip, caught between two different paths. "I don't need a cursed blade," he whispered. "I need the Holy Sword's protection and safety." Should he chase pure chaotic destruction or bet on survival and long-term stability? He stayed silent. He weighed every factor. Both were cracked. How could he spend these starting points to maximize his build? He hesitated, then a wild idea sparked in his brain. He decided to refresh his choices. New item unlocked, Greedy Spike for 1,400 achievement points. Rank F, level 1. Its effect. It completely nullifies the negative side effects of any used skill. It could even be upgraded. Subaru's jaw dropped. This was the ultimate cheat code he needed. With this, the Demon Sword's deadly life drain would become totally irrelevant. He'd have it all. Greedy Spike and the Nameless Demon Sword, purchased for 2,400 achievement points. A smug grin spread across his face. Worth every penny. He gripped the dark hilt with satisfaction. He gave it a test swing. "Just as I thought. This combo is absolutely broken and perfect." Instead of playing it safe, he went for the glass cannon build. Tega approached him, looking puzzled. "Bold move," Tega admitted. "The synergy is there, but honestly, I still don't get your logic." It was a massive gamble on a skill he'd never even tested before. Why take that risk? "Do I really need to spell it out for you?" Subaru snapped. Tega's face turned beet red instantly. "Explain," Tega fumed, trying to keep his cool. Being professional is exhausting. You're lucky I'm tired." "I'll let it slide this time," he grumbled, though his curiosity was clearly killing him. "That snot-nosed brat actually became an examiner. I still remember him as a kid asking for an autograph." "Autograph? I don't do those." Hidutu signed his name anyway. Recalling that encounter, the old man started lecturing. "In my day, proper etiquette was the foundation of being a player. Modern kids, they get two mid-tier skills and suddenly think they're gods. Clueless brats. They're just entitled clout chasers with zero respect. They literally call us fossils now." "Times change, old man, just like your receding hairline," Subaru deadpanned. "Anyway, I'm not talking, so keep my results classified." There he goes, catching an attitude again. Flexing that shallow internet knowledge. Tega suddenly smirked, looking totally smug. "Fine, have it your way. Since you're so clueless, I'll personally beat some manners into you from square one. Wanna join the Knights Guild? Hard pass. Bro, do you know how rare a personal scout offer is? Floor 2 is calling time to bounce." Wait, stop, but Subaru vanished without looking back. Just like that, Subaru was gone. Tega let out a heavy, disappointed sigh. What a waste. Moments later, Subaru touched down amidst a chaotic storm of voices. Welcome to the second floor. Fresh Juntae deep-sea fish, try our legendary jerky. The starter hub was buzzing with energy. From Murim fabrics to earth-made gear. I'm finally back in this hellhole. I've seized a second chance no one else gets. This is my redo, a life I've lived once before. I won't fail my comrades again. This time, I'm getting blood-soaked revenge for our horrific end. He headed for the private training halls to grind skills and test his gear. Which floor just cleared the first? It was the usual player haunt. The old-timer gestured toward the back. Hit room 1 then. There's a practice dummy inside. Subaru paused. I'll take room 5. Room 5. You serious? The old man's face soured instantly. Look, don't be a fool. It's a money pit. Stick to 1. Thanks for the concern, but 30 minutes is enough. This guy was radiating main character energy. Fine play, hero. But don't come crying for a refund when you quit early. Ping, 50 credits used. Balance 10,050. Higher numbers meant nightmare difficulty. It was facts. Entering without top-tier gear was basically asking to be clowned on, but he stepped inside without flinching. All right, let's get to work. Subaru was locked in. He gripped the hilt. A crimson aura flared. Nameless magic sword recognizes its master. Stats boosted. Warning. The blade is devouring all HP and mana. Spike of Greed activated. Level 1 Greed successfully tanked the sword's lethal backlash. HP and mana partially restored. Failure Spike of Greed couldn't suppress the drain. Fatigue is skyrocketing to dangerous levels. Knew it. Level 1 is trash. But he pushed. The demonic blade continued feasting on his life. Power scales with health loss. As the screen flashed, the sword's aura turned truly savage. A blinding red light erupted, nearly spiraling out of control. Is this it? No. Still according to plan. Transaction complete, 10,000 credits spent. Spike of Greed level 1 has finally evolved. He slammed the blade into the dirt, gasping for air. New alert Spike of Greed rank E level 2. Passive negates, negative effects from high-tier gear. Next, evolution cost 20,000 credits. Level 2. Greed clashes with the sword's curse. Resistance check. Partial success. The backlash is being suppressed. The sword consumes his essence, pushing power to the absolute limit. Finally. Subaru's gaze turned lethal eyes bloodshot as he prepared to push even further. Time for the real test. Back at the lobby, the clerk barely noticed as Subaru walked past. Am I tripping? He stared as a blood-drenched Subaru limped by, unable to process the carnage. Is that the rookie from room 5? It hasn't even been 10 minutes. He rushed to the door. Yo kid, you still alive in there? No response. He peeked inside, and his breath hitched. His jaw hit the floor. What the hell? The entire room is absolute rubble. Subaru stirred, shaking off the fog of sleep. Ugh, how long was I out? My body feels like lead. He sat up, grumbling. A standard cursed blade would have made clearing that room a total breeze. At least my physicals are climbing, and I finally tapped into a regular sword's hidden potential. Check the stats. Name Subaru Hosoi. Origin Earth. Level 10. Strength 17. Agility 17. Stamina 16. Focus 18. Magic 8. Fatigue 61. I shouldn't even be able to lift that magic sword right now, let alone wield it. The synergy between that Spike of Greed and my blade, absolutely cracked. Set items might be the next big power-up, but my skill levels, that's the real problem now. A window flickered. Spike of Greed, rank E, level 2. Upgrade costs 20,000 credits. Current balance 50 credits. Seriously, am I doomed to be this broke forever? Subaru looked devastated. Managing credits is becoming a nightmare. I've hit a wall, but dying once really changes your perspective. Yo, what's up everyone? A loud blonde dude swaggered over, shattering Subaru's train of thought. Just exploring the second floor. Man, this really takes me back to my newbie days. Today's stream, how much does trending gear actually cost? Let's find out. Let's go. Alexander donated 1,000 credits as a flex. Your balance increased by 1,000. He dumped water on his head, screaming, so painful. Subaru just watched, completely baffled. Is this guy for real? Skeptical Subaru pulled out his phone to check the latest player news. How to get rich. Welcome to the PvP era. Everyone's streaming for a shot at the credit lottery. Millions on the line. Live streaming, huh? Subaru whispered, the words his mind racing. Real-time video for donations. So that's what that weirdo was doing. He's actually making bank. Suddenly, a voice cut through the air. You, here Isaac sneered. Talk about an unwelcome surprise. Do you live around here? Subaru went pale, his body reacting to a trauma he barely remembered. Clearly they weren't friends. Hey loser, I'm talking to you. Don't you dare ignore me. I feel like I'm talking to a wall. Subaru froze. It wasn't just discomfort. It was fear. I just got here, he stammered, caught off guard by the sheer audacity of the bully. Isaac sat down with a smirk. Can't believe a shrimp like you survived the tutorial. Truly a miracle. I figured a goblin would have finished you. Then it clicked. Subaru remembered begging this monster for mercy. "Why are you doing this?" Subaru had asked. Isaac just laughed. "Your face just pisses me off. You can't even follow simple orders. Are you trying to prove you were raised in a dumpster? Or are you saying the credits you gave me weren't enough to buy your safety?" Seeing Subaru's fear, Isaac slammed a boot into his gut. "Don't you dare talk back trash. That look suits you. Listen up, that cardboard box is your home now. Don't you forget it. If I catch you stepping outside even once, you'll wish you were dead. Got it?" Back in the present, Subaru's face turned to stone. What kind of coward just takes that beating? "So that's why you were hiding in a box," Isaac mocked, bragging about clearing the 20th stage. "I even crushed my dad's record. Proctor Kyaga said I'm definitely my father's son. Pure talent. I even scored an S-rank skill as a reward. The absolute peak of tutorial prizes, man. All this bragging made me thirsty. I'm grabbing a drink. You're dismissed. Wait, since you're leaving, grab me a coffee. Anything cheap works for a peasant like you." Subaru blinked in disbelief. "Huh," he dropped his head into his hands, trying to stay calm. "I'm serious. Are you deaf? You've been acting weird lately, staring me down like you have balls." Soul swap. Maybe Subaru didn't flinch. He just looked him dead in the eye, ice cold. "I don't have credits for you," Subaru stated. "Go buy your own damn coffee." As Subaru stood up, Isaac's voice dropped to a low, menacing growl. "Sit down." Subaru kept moving. "Sorry, kid, I don't have time for your tantrums. I've got a revenge plan. If he blocks my path, he's dead." Suddenly, Isaac's iron grip clamped onto Subaru's wrist. Refusing to let go, Isaac's bloodshot eyes bore into Subaru. "Hey, you really begging for a beatdown?" Subaru's response was ice cold. "Let go if you want to keep that hand." Isaac only tightened his grip. The air turned heavy with killing intent. "Don't get cocky," Isaac hissed. Subaru didn't blink, matching his gaze. His eyes remained sharp. "I can't go all out with this many witnesses," he thought, staying composed. A public brawl would only cause trouble. Seeing Subaru's stillness, Isaac erupted into a mocking, obnoxious laugh. He totally misread the vibe. "Relax, I'm just playing with you just like old times, right? Still the same pathetic coward. A weakling like you probably bled just to survive the tutorial. Bet you feel like a big shot now." As the insults landed, Isaac leaned in closer, oozing pure arrogance. Stepping into Subaru's personal space, he sneered. "You trash, you actually think you're on my level. I could erase you in a heartbeat. You haven't forgotten who my father is, have you?" With a final taunting laugh, the bully turned his back. "Watch your step out there, buddy." Subaru stood motionless, watching the clown depart. With friends like that. Suddenly the system pinged. 2 paths to power exist. The system began its breakdown. Path 1. Enter the gates. Clear towers and gates to earn rewards and level up safely. Of course, entry requires a credit fee. These digital zones guarantee your life. If you die inside, you only lose your credits and progress. No real-world death, no risk. Then the system revealed the second path, the way of the hunter. Slay monsters in the wild or conquer floor dungeons to evolve. This path offers explosive growth. It's way faster than gates, but there's a catch. It's real-world combat. One mistake and it's game over. Death here is permanent. Deep inside an orc lair, Subaru whispered, "That's why most players are too chicken to hunt. Why gamble with your life?" Yet amidst the carnage, one lone figure stood tall and defiant. Subaru sat casually atop a fresh kill. Playing it safe is just a slow crawl to the top. The beast was unrecognizable. Risk equals reward. He pulled out his device to check the latest trends. A viral notification caught his eye. It was a photo of some mysterious masked influencer. Subaru froze. Nazukami Subaru, 80,000 live viewers. The masked clown was hyping up the chat. Time to solo the third-floor gate. The real Subaru scowled. This masked fraud was using his damn name. How many fakes are out there? The screen flashed. Mission Nazukami is an idiot, 20,000 credits. The stream was popping off. "I'll be your fool today," the fake Subaru laughed, soaking up the clout. "Thanks for the 20,000 credits, guys." Subaru's jaw dropped. That's a massive payout for doing nothing. A single mission for 20 grand. The board was filled with weird requests for teasing lonely wallets. Safe Assets has posted a new mission. The masked man cheered. "I'll clear this for you all." This Nazukami Subaru was printing money by acting like a clown. Meanwhile, the real deal was literally bleeding for every cent. His balance, a measly 50 credits. Subaru let out a bitter scoff. Must be nice. He stared at the screen for a moment before standing up with a heavy sigh. Suddenly he snapped into focus. Fine, time to get back to work. Just then, a massive, monstrous foot slammed down, making the earth tremble. A pack of snarling, bloodthirsty beasts emerged. Warning, an orc overlord has spawned. Subaru didn't even flinch. About time you showed up. Don't need the poison needles today. I've got a much better toy. The system interface flickered. Nameless magic sword has consumed the user's scream. Stats surged. Gluttonous spearhead level 2. Recoil resisted. Nameless magic sword awaken. He unsheathed the blade with a roar. I'm in a hurry, die quickly. Mental health temporarily stabilized. Subaru lunged, delivering a devastating kick that shattered an orc's face. Flipping through the air like an acrobat, he became a whirlwind of steel, carving through the mob. They couldn't even track his movements. With one final earth-shattering punch, Subaru ended the chaos. Dungeon cleared. He wiped the blood from his brow. Guess I have to put that thing back on. Looking into a cracked mirror, he muttered, I finally see how these streamers are gaming the system. If I'm doing this, I'm going all in. He donned, the mask eyes burning. Let's start the show. I'm the only real deal here. With those parting words, Subaru turned and vanished into the corridor. Suddenly, a notification chimed. Alert, Nazukami Subaru has started a broadcast. Inside, a desolate office silence reigned supreme until Hatsuka, who had been lost in thought, ground her teeth in pure fury. Without warning, she let out a piercing shriek. Are you kidding me, you absolute clown? A 5-man squad couldn't even sniff a clear on this map. What's the drama? Songwon strolled in. Don't forget, if you trigger the bleep button, that's a 1,000-point penalty. You're redlining the salt meter. So who's the victim today? Hatsuka hissed a single name, Shubekichi. He blinked in shock. Shubekichi, is that the legendary Nazukami Subaru, or just some clout-chasing clone? Who knows? She barked. The OG hasn't resurfaced yet, so it's anyone's game. But if their combat styles actually align, the strongest will be crowned the true heir. Nowadays, every random loser is rocking the Subaru brand for easy cash. Is the streaming era finally dead? Siwon shivered. Chill with the horror stories, okay? That's way too dark. This platform is literally our meal ticket, you know. But Hatsuka's temper refused to cool down. It's a joke. These rookies don't even know the basics. Real climbers putting their lives on the line in the tower would find this insulting. Seongwon hesitated, his voice trembling. Hatsuka, why did you actually abandon the climb? Just to settle for this dump, because the tower was a total snooze fest, she whispered. Besides, you're a quitter too, aren't you? If I weren't stuck here, I'd have scouted a real prodigy by now. So zip it. He froze, speechless. It wasn't a skill issue, Siwon mused silently. He only entered that death trap to track down Nazukami Subaru. Meeting him was his entire world. Without that goal, his fire has completely burned out, hasn't it? Hatsuka erupted. Wait, look at this kid. He's insane. He spun around. What did you find? Another weirdo. She looked utterly bewildered. It's another guy claiming to be the new Nazukami Subaru. Seongwon's jaw dropped. Unbelievable. This counts as scouting. You're actually wasting time on a joke like this. A Floor 2 stream with 0 viewers. Really, Hatsuka squinted. I know, but that mask. It just feels different. I can't stop hoping. Plus, I just dropped 1,000 credits on him. Songwon's heart nearly stopped. He collapsed to his knees, wailing, forgive me. Meanwhile, the system's cold mechanical voice echoed through the air. Floor 2 trial initiated. Conquer the tutorial dungeon. Points will be tallied based on your total kill count. The second floor trial is straightforward enough, Subaru thought. It's not complex enough to be confusing. However, the weight of these invisible eyes, the pressure of being watched, is definitely real. A message popped up. Which floor? Then another. Is this your debut? Yeah, he muttered. First trial. This is my debut run. The chat exploded. Wait for real. Streaming your very first trial is pure suicide. You have no idea what's lurking there. Suddenly a snarling beast lunged. Subaru's hand blurred, snatching its skull midair. He tossed the creature like trash. Notification. One-eyed bat neutralized. 1 achievement point acquired. Subaru adjusted his grip. Did I miss something? Is there a problem with the way I fight? System Rookie Dungeon Trial in progress. Escalate your score by harvesting the local monsters and escaping. A comment flashed. Those reflexes are cracked. Since when did Floor 2 streamers get so sweaty? Occasional rookies pop up, but they usually rage quit when the viewer count stays at 0. Don't be a hero. Wait for a party. Subaru smirked at the screen. Listen closely, Malome. Appreciate the tip, but I'll pass. He chuckled darkly. I work better as a lone wolf. Chat. A lone wolf, huh? Did this guy even read the guide? He's dead meat. Subaru ignored them, venturing deeper into the abyss. The name Subaru is enough to draw the crowds. I don't even need to try that hard. A salamander slithered from the shadows, lunging at him. Subaru's fingers instinctively tightened around his blade's hilt. With a silver flash, the beast was severed. Let's see where my limits truly lie. Alert, mud salamander slain. 2 points gained. Chat was reeling. Did anyone else catch that? He just deleted a mud salamander instantly. A swarm of bats descended, but Subaru moved like a phantom. He was a blur of lethal, agile grace. He was untouchable. Yo, what was that speed? Is the stream lagging, or is he just that fast? Viewers 10. System dual kill. 2 one-eyed bats eliminated. 2 achievement points awarded. Mud salamanders x2. Defeated. Points updated. Subaru paused. If you all focus on the rhythm of the sound, he'll sense their numbers and direction. The chat erupted with Cap, and claims he was straight up lying. No way, you're a newbie. I called it. I've got those moves too. Yo, V-tier legend, what's your level? Since you've caught on, I'll just speak my mind, he noted. The comment section flowed back to normal. That is inhuman. Pure talent is the ultimate game changer. I see you are staying loyal to your niche. Clout chasing off Natsuki Subaru is wild. But Subaru gritted his teeth thinking, this still isn't enough. I need to stack every achievement point possible before exiting, he realized. A new message flashed on screen. You've just been holding W this whole time. Real ones move in silence. Did you even check the wiki? Walking blindly like that is a death wish. Suddenly, Subaru froze dead in his tracks. Scanning the cavern, he looked up. A swarm of one-eyed bats hung from the jagged stone walls. Their crimson pupils flared to life. In a chilling ripple, the entire swarm awakened at once. The chat buzzed. Told ya, he is cooked. Catch you back at the spawn point, bro. System alert Maloney stream set a quest. Earn 100 prestige points by wiping them all out. Subaru locked onto the prompt, lost in thought. Viewer spammed. Is this a setup? That is toxic. Subaru smirked Maloney. Thanks for the free 100 points. Somewhere, a furious fist hammered a desk. Sagan spiraled, crying out. How I cleared floor 6 easily, but I am getting bodied here. Refund me now. Wait, was I too chill? My bad. Hatsuka ignored him, eyes glued to her phone. Sagan leaned in. What is the deal? What are you watching? Her voice dropped. Sagan. Something is definitely off. Startled, he stammered. It is just pocket change. I will pay you back if I ever gamble again, I swear. Hatsuka silenced him. That is not it. Her voice trembled with shock as she whispered, Natsuki Subaru. Sagan peered over. You are still on that stream. Suddenly, his face twisted in annoyance as he looked. Impossible. A viewer spammed. No shot. A floor 2 newbie is doing this. You have got to be joking. I actually pity those bats. This is cracked. How many has he dropped now? Sagan pressed on. How many solo kills is that? The crazed, one-eyed bats swarmed him like a literal hurricane of teeth. Yet Subaru's blade danced, shredding them effortlessly. One comment read, this makes 0 sense. Who called him a newbie? The vibe shifted when he stepped up. Is that it? I am grinding on an upper floor currently. Yet I am taking notes from a second-floor rookie. It is like being taught how to walk by a pro. Subaru sighed. Talk is cheap, but it is hard. A fan reminded him. Claim your rep points, king. Oh, true, he muttered. Subaru's fingers flew across the screen to secure those reputation points. The chat asked, is his brain lagging? Subaru scratched his neck, a bashful grin on his face. Wait, how do I accept this? A comment teased. Skills are fire, but he is clearly a total noob. Just smash the accept button on the quest banner atop the chat to lock it in. 100 reputation points acquired from Maloney stream. Subaru typed back, appreciate the support, big dog. Venturing deeper, he thought. One more room to go. System alert, current reputation at 150. Achievement count 118. Suddenly, a bone-chilling shriek ripped through the air outside. Hatsuka gasped. This is insane. She kept repeating it while Sagan's jaw tightened in frustration. Covering his ears, he snapped. You are the one tripping. She whipped around. Excuse me. Look, have you ever seen this much heat? Sagan scoffed. You are doing way too much right now. Bro, it is literally just the second floor. Hatsuka shot up, eyes wide. Yeah, maybe I am trippin'. Panic set in as he apologized. Her face glowed. Are you from Earth? For real? I am Natsuki Subaru, of Earth. Is this destiny? Is the legend finally being reborn? It is a classic isekai trope, Sagan groaned internally. Once she starts simping for Natsuki, she is gone. She has lost her mind. Hatsuka squealed. I am literally spinning. Yo Sagan, what do I do? What if I just blink? He flinched, caught off guard. She blinked back at him confused. What? No shot. Sagan shook his head. Wait, are you seriously planning to scout this guy? Hatsuka snapped. Absolutely, he countered. He might have potential, but he is still a literal nobody. I already get it, she snapped, cutting the lone streamer off mid-sentence while Sagan let out a weary, frustrated sigh. No, what exactly? Hatsuka fired back, her voice dripping with irritation. If we report this to the chief, he'll just tear us a new one again. Besides, you were obsessed with gambling a second ago, and now you're playing the hero. She puffed her cheeks, pouting like a child. Just you wait. Hatsuka's gaze locked onto Subaru with laser focus. Suddenly, the entire world around him began to shudder. His palm brushed against the cold stone. This was the end, the heart of the dungeon. Without warning, a massive door creaked open from within. Standing firm, Subaru faced the darkness with unshakable grit. There it was, a massive warwolf sleeping in a seated position. So you're the legendary Warwolf GZ. A comment flashed across the screen. I swear the pressure from this guy is absolutely insane. Guys, please keep it low-key that I died 8 times to this beast. Since he blocked my first run, I seriously thought he was a glitch. The Warwolf's gaze shifted as it granted its acknowledgement. The system chimed, proceed through the gateway to advance the trial. Subaru realized the truth. The Warwolf wasn't just some beast to hunt. It was a divine gatekeeper. Its purpose was to judge a player's worthiness before they could venture further. Subaru's eyes flickered toward his livestream interface. His face went pale with shock. Wait, 3,000 reputation points. A new comment pinged. Whoa, another big shot just entered the chat. He probably won't donate though, said his budget is tight. Plus, you don't even have to slay this monster to pass. The beast's pitch-black pupils slowly narrowed. A jagged scar sliced through the fur above its eye as the system broadcasted a warning. Warwolf GZ, guardian of the second floor. The creature exhaled a long, heavy breath before speaking. A player I see. Remaining silent, Subaru unsheathed his blade. GZ's eyes gleamed with respect. Impressive. You adjusted your sword's path mid-swing. Your rhythm and focus never wavered. Subaru tilted his head. Path GZ continued. From the very start. It was clear you were going for a lethal one-tap finish. Were you reading my movements and planning 10 steps ahead? Subaru stayed quiet, looking deep in thought. Suddenly, he pointed at his own head and grinned. Actually, I wasn't really thinking at all. GZ's face contorted in a grimace. What a truly irritating guy. Would it be better if I struggled? Subaru joked. GZ let out an awkward laugh. Normally, yeah. No one does that. Subaru went back into his zone. You find it weird too, right, GZ? To me, it's all about communication. Making eye contact and delivering a message in a heartbeat. When you're dealing with a swarm of one-eyed bats, you can't waste time aiming at every single eye. A lone wolf always lunges for the throat, exposing its own weakness. The system chimed again. Condition met. You have earned the warwolf's respect. The beast's eyes widened as it realized Subaru was truly by himself. Did you really venture into this abyss alone? Can't you tell by looking? Subaru replied, his voice cold as ice. The warwolf leaned in, sniffing. You're a fascinating one. I smell the aura of a legendary warrior on you. A viewer commented. A legend. Last time he said I smelled like a dumpster. He literally told me I smelled like rotting corpses. Subaru's gaze sharpened. The wolf tribe doesn't just smell sweat or dirt. They can sense a person's inner soul. The warwolf finally stood up and spoke. You are worthy of passing. The trial is finished. You may leave. The chat exploded. Wait, that's it. He's just letting him go. Is this how anti-discrimination works in the game? Subaru scratched his head, looking disappointed. Even in my previous life, I never got a free pass. Too bad though. My target is actually you. The warwolf blinked, confused. Isn't the exit behind me? Subaru gave a sharp nod. Yeah, but someone paid me to take your head. The warwolf's eyes lit up with predatory excitement. As expected of a man who possesses the soul of a true conqueror. Meanwhile, in a sunlit office, Hatsuka and Saigon were glued to their screens, their fingers tapping nervously with a hint of irritation. What is this guy doing? He's already passed the entrance floor. Suddenly, Department Head John spoke up. That stream, he asked, staring at the monitor, exactly how many people are watching this kid right now? Sagan let out a nervous chuckle. Maybe 20 people, he guessed. Hatsuaka instantly shut him down with a beaming grin. No way. It is over 30 now, Sagan winced internally. I am not even going to argue with this idiot, he thought. John suddenly adjusted his glasses, his eyes sharp. Are you guys for real? Do you think I am blind? You are literally gambling during office hours. Plus, I told you to scout talent, and you bring me a guy with 20 viewers. Hatsuaka eyes stayed glued to the screen. 30 people, John snapped, cutting her off. That is not the point, Hatsuaka. Why do you not just start streaming? With your skills, you would definitely go viral. She just shouted back, Chief. Hatsuaka leaned in closer. Look, it just passed 40, John groaned, his face twisted in a scowl. Hey, are you even listening to me? Meanwhile, Subaru stood his ground, locked in a tense standoff with the lethal warwolf. Suddenly, the beast lashed out, bearing razor-sharp claws. Subaru's hand tightened around his sword hilt. Empty your mind. A system alert. Flashed, the nameless demon sword is draining the user mana. All attributes are surging based on stamina consumed. Subaru took a deep breath, steadying his racing heart. Stay sharp. Another notification popped up. Greed's Edge has reached level 2. The demon blade side effects are now negated. His pupils ignited with a mysterious glow, even if this is the first time. As the thought crossed his mind, the warwolf lunged, just like practice. Subaru blade moved in a blur, parrying the strike. The warwolf did not let up, unleashing a frantic, non-stop barrage of claw swipes at Subaru. His boots skidded across the dirt as he fought to stay upright. Subaru exhaled sharply. This guy is a monster. Brute force will not win this clash. But the warwolf kept its predatory gaze fixed on Subaru. A true warrior indeed. It pivoted instantly for another strike. The warwolf growled, but you are nowhere near my level yet. Subaru gripped his sword with both hands, refusing to back down. A new comment flashed on the stream. Only thugs rely on pure defense. Mercenary tactics won't work here. This beast is built different. He might need a few more tries. Whoever set this quest is a sadist. He will clear it, but it is going to be brutal. Suddenly, Subaru found himself pinned against the wall. He panted heavily, his mind racing for a solution. Sometimes finesse beats raw power. The warwolf narrowed its eyes. You have actually managed to interest me. Warrior, it raised its claws high for a finishing blow. Let us end this. It swung down with earth-shattering force. Subaru shifted his weight, a smirk playing on his lips. My thoughts exactly. Your moves are way too predictable. His blade carved through the air. DI. The beast recoiled in agony as blood sprayed across the arena. Subaru vaulted into the air, gripping his steel. He executed his skills flawlessly, ending the werewolf. He quickly sheathed his blade. The werewolf looked up one last time. Truly excellent. The system chimed. You have successfully hunted the werewolf. Level 12 reached, +2, strength 1 agility, 1 focus, and 2 magic. You earned 500 achievement points. The chat went wild. Wait, did he actually just win? Is the beast dead? This streamer is cracked? Is this really his first run? Subaru wiped his brow and smiled. I actually did it. A donation appeared. Solo clear, pure legend. I bet the quest giver is shocked. They definitely did not expect this. Live viewers 56, quest complete. You gained 3,000 reputation with safe asset. Subaru nodded. I will put this to work. System update current reputation. 3,150 achievement points, 618. A mystical gate creaked open. Subaru stepped into the light, but his instincts suddenly screamed danger. A comment popped up. Something is furious. System windows flooded Subaru vision. 13 choices. No way. Are you joking? The record is 16 right. Is this a new high? I only got 6 options. Rewards scale with player potential. Will you accept the lightning challenge? A viewer typed, now that is the spirit. If he dodges the lightning path now, he should just quit. Subaru went silent, hesitating for a heartbeat. Finally he spoke. I choose it. Alert lightning challenge initiated. Subaru was instantly engulfed in a blinding electrical storm. Powerful currents surged through his body. Hatsuwaka was mesmerized by the screen while the rest of the team cheered. This is the one, Hatsuwaka pointed excitedly. He did it. We are at 60 viewers already. Check that out. Have you ever seen a rookie channel grow this fast? And check the quest rewards. Most people only get 2 or 3 options, but he unlocked 13. John muttered, his voice low and serious. Taking down a werewolf is a massive flex. I heard that beast was unbeatable, but let us be real. He is still just a second-floor novice. There is a mountain left to climb. Hatsuwaka just laughed. Chief, just watch. Care for a wager, she smirked, caught him completely off guard. If he fails to harness the lightning's power, Segan and I will be your wage slaves for 5 years. But if he wins, you sign his contract immediately. Segan instantly spiraled into a panicked frenzy. Wait, what? Why am I being sold out? I don't even know him. John let out a mocking chuckle. Even if he reaches the trial, do you honestly think a nobody stands a chance? Only Junazukami has ever conquered that peak. Hatsuwaka grinned confidently. Guess we'll find out once he tries right. Deal, John replied, folding his arms. Hatsuwaka instantly muffled Segan's frantic whining protests. System lightning challenge initiated. Subaru whispered. Is this when a sudden scream pierced the air? Look out, someone lunged forward, tackling Subaru into a tight grip just as a massive blast erupted behind them. Falcon panted heavily, a jagged fragment looming behind him. He glared at a stunned Subaru. Are you suicidal? Trying to get yourself killed. Mission slay the giant fragment. Subaru frowned. Why was this guy even helping? The beast gnashed its teeth, towering over them with murderous intent. The livestream chat exploded instantly. Wait, what's happening? Isn't this supposed to be the lightning trial? It looks insane. That's a giant tribe monster. Why is it spawning here? Subaru's mind raced as he analyzed the threat. This boss shouldn't appear until stage 2. Did my victory over GZ trigger a hidden difficulty spike? The fragment's weapon smashed down with bone-shattering force, but Subaru had already vanished in a blink. He strolled forward unimpressed. It's just a big target. Your power doesn't even come close to GZ. Good thing I already knew that. Falcon rushed over fuming. Hey, I just went through hell to save you. Now run. Ignoring the warning, Subaru gripped his hilt. Better end this before things get too messy. Warning, Nameless Demon Sword is consuming user's blood for ultimate power. Stats surged as his HP drained. Greed level 2. Activating Greed's spike. The backlash vanished instantly. Subaru stood his ground, staring down the colossal beast with cold determination. He dropped into a low combat stance just as the giant's massive club roared downward. Boom. Subaru's boot slammed right onto the weapon's impact point, stopping it cold. The monster snarled, relentless. Falcon gasped, looking up. Subaru was airborne, plummeting toward the beast's skull like a vengeful comet. His blade sank deep into its flesh. As the giant wailed, Subaru's eyes turned void-black and terrifyingly cold. Too loud, he muttered, twisting his palm on the hilt. Time for your eternal silence. Blood sprayed as the Titan's gaze dimmed. Its life force was draining away under his icy stare. All resistance failed. System. The giant fragment has been successfully slain. Stage 4 clear, chat wait. Stage 4 already. Level up, 13 to 15. Strength +1. Agility HP mana +1. Gained 4000 achievement points. New item Giant's Heart acquired. Gained Thunderclap. 4K points just for clearing the early stages. This reward system is absolutely cracked. A perfect clear from stages 1 to 3. Falcon approached him completely shell-shocked by what he'd witnessed. He stared at Subaru. Who are you? The chat noticed Falcon's acting polite now. LOL, he's scared. Can't blame him. Anyone would lose their mind if a monster like that popped up on stage 4. Total freakout mode, Falcon stammered. Who the hell are you? Subaru retorted. Can't you tell by looking? His dark eyes narrowed. I'm here to slay giants. Later, in a silent, desolate outpost town, surrounded by weary guards and crumbling walls, Subaru sat isolated in a dimly lit room. He focused on the screen as viewers spammed. Show us the loot. Give us the stats now. Bet it's magic tier? Nah, that's gotta be rare. Subaru reached into his spatial inventory. Let's see the goods then. System rare item giant's heart. Type accessory. HP +2. This ring forged from Titan blood boosts vitality and recovery speed. Rare accessories are gold, Subaru thought. This HP buff is exactly what I was looking for. Guess it's my lucky day. He needed protection next. System rare armor thunder roar. Defense +5. This electrified plate mail grants the thunder roar skill once per day. Debuff immunity 3 charges. Chat. Wait, those stats are insane. Even with the level restrictions, Floor 5 remains the limit for this power. The Giant's Heart is a legendary artifact that adapts to your deepest desires. Subaru gears up in heavy plate. A system alert pings Noah Nazukami has issued a high-tier quest worth 5,000 rep. Master Raikou and give it your all, the message read. Subaru muttered a quiet thanks to his benefactor Noah. More alerts flood in. Inho offers 5,000 points for a similar hunt, followed by another challenge from Mission V-Up. Safe Asset ups the ante with 7,000 rep points and total trust. The rewards for this mission are insane. Thanks everyone. I'll show you my true power, Subaru declared. The crowd is hyped to see his lightning magic ignite. He's a bigger deal than he realizes. A sudden thud echoes outside. Enter, he says as the chat explodes. Caught you lurking, Subaru thought. No doubt about it, this guy just triggered another high-stakes quest for him. Feikun arrives with a stern warrior named Baluza. Apologies for the delay, Feikun chirped with a confident knowing grin. Meet Knight Commander Baluza. He warns that the giant clan has been launching relentless assaults on the village lately. My knights are on 24-hour lockdown. We've ordered all civilians to stay indoors and avoid any unnecessary travel. An outsider showing up now is Unexpected Baluza, noted his eyes narrowing as he sized up Subaru's mysterious aura. I heard you held the line while I was gone. The entire village owes you a massive debt of gratitude. Just doing my job, Subaru shrugged. He stared at Baluza, the legendary shield of the village, and a sworn enemy of giants. We've located the giant chieftain Baluza, muttered. Our scouts spotted the beast during our latest recon mission. We're going all in to trap them. Forgive my desperation, but I'm begging you, please, save our home from destruction. Subaru stayed silent, analyzing the veteran knight. Suddenly, the chat feed goes wild. Baluza, please don't die. Stay safe. Baluza dies. No spoilers, Subaru grimaced. The chat is already mourning a man who is still standing there. According to Subaru's knowledge, Baluza is scripted to perish in the upcoming battle. He slowly reaches toward the man. Keep your head up. Subaru flashed a confident smirk. Relax, Commander. I'm in. Consider us allies for this fight. Baluza beamed, crushing Subaru's hand in a grateful grip. Then a system chime echoes, Stage 5 survival begin. The party marches into the blood-red sunset. Subaru remains glued to his translucent screen, tracking every variable in real time. The viewer count is exploding, he realized. The chat is moving way too fast to even read right now. Interacting is hopeless now. Suddenly, Baluza freezes, thrusting his hand up. Halt, stay sharp everyone. Feikun turns pale, pointing toward a massive shadow. Towering over them is a mountain of muscle, the terrifying giant chieftain. I'll draw his fire, Baluza barked. While he's distracted, you flank him and deliver the finishing blow. Subaru's hand suddenly clamps onto Baluza's shoulder. Wait. The commander grits his teeth, looking back in total confusion. What's that? Suddenly, the entire mountain begins to tremble and shake violently beneath their feet. Chaos erupts among the knights. Subaru's gaze turns cold as he realizes the horrifying truth. Those aren't humans at all. The chieftain's pupils dilate. Its gaze shifts and suddenly razor-sharp giant shards erupt from the earth in a swarm. They charge with mindless feral rage. Baluza watches in sheer terror, his voice trembling. How? Why is this happening? A colossal hand smashes down inches from their faces. Death is staring them down. Someone, help us, a knight screams. The beast looms close, flashing a ghastly grin. Its hollow, milky white eyes are the stuff of pure nightmares. Panic surges as the line breaks. Fall back to the base. Move, Baluza yells, drowned out by the giant's roar. In a fit of rage, the beast pulverizes a fallen soldier beneath its palm. Wails of despair echo through the ranks. A comrade tries to charge, but is pinned back. No, don't. The beast raises its massive fist. A scream follows. Baluza plants his feet at the front. That's an order. Every single one of you run for your lives. Think of your families, he bellows. This isn't where we die. We'll regroup, but only if you leave now. The knights retreat as Baluza turns to face the horde alone. Feikun is your leader now. Protect him. He spots a silhouette out of the corner of his eye. What are you doing? Both of you get out now. Rebuild the order and avenge us, Baluza begs. But Subaru just unsheathes his blade, the steel gleaming in the twilight. My line, Commander. Subaru steps forward. Baluza blinks in shock. You're not running. Why? What are you doing? Subaru's intent is clear. He wants Baluza gone. You're in my way, old man. I can't go all out with you here. Stay and we both die. Simple math. Baluza reels in shock. Abandon a guest. My honor won't allow it. I won't leave you, Subaru roars back. Don't make me repeat myself. Go. Finally, the commander turns and sprints away. Baluza glanced back, shouting, I'll rally the warriors. Just hold the line until I return. Eyes locked on the monster swarm, Subaru nodded. Thanks, Baluza. Now go. Don't you dare die, I'll see you after. The beast suddenly unleashed a bone-chilling roar. Fearless Subaru lunged forward, a lone shadow diving into the heart of the horde. A dark aura wreathed his blade. I'm your opponent. He instantly crippled the giant's leg. The behemoth wobbled, nearly crashing down. Hearing the scream, the other monsters turned in shock. Subaru wiped away sweat as a notification appeared. 2 traces of the giant defeated. 20 achievement points gained. With glowing red eyes, he slashed again. I hate being alone. Elsewhere, Baluza sprinted through the forest before skidding to a halt, gasping for air. His heart hammered as he peered back toward the chaos he'd just fled. He stood silent, jaw clenched tight. Meanwhile, Subaru's stream exploded with frantic comments. This isn't a fight, it's suicide. He's totally outnumbered. Can he even survive this? Why did he send help away? The score depends on the surviving warriors. This game is literal hell, Subaru wheezed, struggling to catch his breath. But if I play this right, I can save everyone, even the doomed ones. The giants went berserk, charging wildly. Subaru didn't flinch, deleting one with a single strike. 10 achievement points acquired. He spun a blur of steel, quickly dispatching another foe. Giant trace defeated. 10 points gained. Subaru's expression turned grim as he calculated. The nameless demon sword drained his mana to amplify his stats to godlike levels. One by one, they're nothing. He gripped his hilt. But how long can I sustain this? I need high ground to spot the boss. Subaru leaped onto a giant's fresh corpse. He surveyed the battlefield from above. Below, the giants snapped at the air like hungry wolves. Jaws hung open, waiting for him to fall. One monster reached out with massive hands. Subaru vaulted off its face, using the giants' heads as stepping stones to launch himself. The chat went nuclear. One wrong move and he's history. This is insane. Aerial combat was Subaru's playground. He ignored the hype, focusing purely on his next move. Greedy Spike, level 2 activate. The sword's curse vanished as his stamina surged back. Mental strength restored, stamina drain stabilized. Top-tier equipment really is a game changer. His eyes widened, spotting his target. I need to end this before I hit my limit. Subaru spotted the boss looming ahead. The monster actually laughed, wearing a mocking smirk. Subaru charged. The boss raised its weapon, preparing to pulverize the tiny human. It's one shot or game over. The giant swung its massive club with lethal force. Externally calm, Subaru prayed for a miracle. Then he sharply snapped his fingers. Click, a blinding golden flash erupted. Thunderclap lightning roared across the blood-soaked battlefield. The giants wailed in agony, clutching their blinded eyes as thunder rattled their bones. Even the boss dropped its guard to shield its face. Human, it bellowed in fury. Subaru dove like a predator, his blade aimed straight for the center of its skull. The demon sword drank his mana greedily. His eyes flared crimson as the steel hummed. Subaru plunged the blade home. The boss's eyes bulged in shock, as blood splattered everywhere. The titan collapsed, a mountain falling to earth. The remaining giants stood paralyzed in fear. Giant seed slain. System windows flooded his vision in a rapid-fire sequence. Stage 5. Absolute success, performance outstanding. Level up, strength and agility increased by 2. Stamina +1, and magic +1. In the chat, the viewers were losing their minds. No way, is he even human? How did he pull off that victory? That stage was supposed to be impossible. Where did he even find that opening? Toppling the impossible, what a total menace. This frail body is a curse. Subaru, completely spent, gasped for air, desperately clutching at consciousness. In a manhwa, this would be the epic climax. Then the heavens turned pitch black. Violent lightning tore through the sky like a strobing nightmare. The giants fell silent, slowly dropping their massive hands. Subaru tightened his grip on his blade, the greedy spike. Level 2 failed to suppress the nameless demon sword. Subaru staggered his legs, trembling as he fought to stay upright. A chilling thought flashed through his mind. Even if I clear this stage, these monsters won't vanish until the trial ends. The very system I exploited is now my death sentence. From beneath his mask, droplets of crimson began to fall. Subaru glared at the towering behemoths, realized his mana was bone dry. Then without warning, the atmosphere shifted. Lethal bolts of electricity tore through the clouds. A streak of pure gold slammed into the earth with terrifying velocity. The blinding radiance engulfed his entire frame. Before he could react, the lightning struck Subaru dead on, triggering a cataclysmic explosion that sent the giants recoiling in pure terror. Elsewhere, in a distant forest, the weather was eerily peaceful. Birds chirped as golden sunlight danced through the lush emerald canopy. Tucked away in the shadows sat a small wooden cottage. Out front, a girl remained perched in her chair, completely absorbed in her task. She was laser-focused on the device in her palms. Sigar stepped outside, his gaze immediately locking onto her. He approached, questioning why she was out here alone. She didn't flinch, slickly dodging the question. "The weather is gorgeous today, right? The air feels so crisp and clean." Xena's eyes remained glued to the screen. This was a rare moment of peace she had to savor. Sigar sighed, looking up. "Time is running out, isn't it?" After a heavy pause, she whispered, "We have 1 year at most." He turned back to her, his expression grim. "It's time to end this cycle." Again, she met him with silence, leaving Sigar to groan in frustration. "You're unbelievable. How can you be so distracted during a serious talk?" He leaned over, trying to peek at the screen in Xena's hands. "What on earth are you watching so intently?" She hesitated for a heartbeat before answering. "Oh, this. It's a live feed of someone named Subaru. Apparently he goes by Subaru Natsuki." Sigar's eyes widened as he shouted, "Subaru, did you just say Subaru?" "Relax, it's not that Subaru. He just swiped the name from a famous streamer named Subaru Natsuki, who's currently grinding through the second-floor trial." The comment section was absolutely blowing up. "His mechanics are cracked, and he's supposed to be a total noob." Xena's voice wavered before she regained her composure. "You know the truth, Sigar." Her voice rose with sudden irritation. "If the real Subaru had made it out alive back then Kazuki Kyozo would have been deleted from this tower ages ago." Sigar asked calmly, "What's your point exactly?" Xena's brow furrowed, a faint blush of frustration coloring her cheeks. "Subaru is gone, Sigar. You need to move on." Without a word, Sigar turned his back to leave. "I'm done with this conversation," she cried out, panicked Sigar. She bolted upright, screaming after him. "How long are you going to hide in that dead kid's shadow?" "Just how much longer?" He spun around livid and snapped back. "What about you?" Sigar snatched the device away. "This is exactly why you shouldn't get involved." As she started to protest, he shoved the screen back in her face. "I was just killing time." She looked at the display, the flashing images reflecting deep within her eyes. What she saw made her scream in shock. Sigar pulled the device back, looking annoyed, and muttered, "Now what?" But the second he looked down, he froze. There was Subaru stomping the ground to generate insane momentum. A tidal wave of raw energy erupted from his body, turning him into a sun. The sheer pressure crushed the giants, pinning them to the spot. A system window popped up. "You have obtained the skill Lightning. Achievement points earned 2,000. Option 1, continue. Option 2, proceed to the next floor." The chat went feral. "Is this for real? That's totally cracked. Wait, that's how you unlock it. The game balance is officially broken. You want to know the secret? Just solo the giant tribe boss. Simple. Why did Subaru Natsuki stay silent? Honestly, it makes sense. Even if I told you guys, none of you could actually pull it off." He thought. "Something is wrong. This skill shouldn't even be obtainable at this stage." The system interface flickered again. Lightning rank A+ type active skill level 1. Consumes stamina and mana to dominate the heavens. Upgrade available via lightning fragments. Subaru stared at the screen and exhaled. "Well, I'm alive. That's a win." That clutch pause in the challenge was a total lifesaver. Suddenly, a fresh flood of notifications illuminated the screen. Displaying the roster of generous gifters, Subaru immediately addressed his growing audience with a grin. Huge thanks to everyone. Checking his stats, he noted his reputation had surged to 20,150. "I promised a special show for the donors, and I am a man of my word." Challenge resumed. The massive giants snapped out of their stasis and charged forward with bloodthirsty growls. Subaru's gaze turned icy as he scanned the horde. Time for the main event. 20,000 reputation points gone. Greedy Spike evolved to level 3, finally nullifying the brutal recoil of his lightning abilities. Violent sparks danced across his palm. He tried surging the current through his entire body, but it concentrated. His hand became a focal point of blinding radiance, humming with pure, unadulterated electrical power. "Bring it on." He dropped into a combat stance as the monsters pounced like starved predators sensing a kill. As their claws reached for him, Subaru let out a lethal smirk, his fingers tightening around his blade. Flooding the nameless demon sword with high-voltage energy, a terrifying crimson aura erupted from his very soul. "Let us end this farce right now." He swung the blade with a violent flash of absolute power. The devastating shockwave bisected every giant in its path. Not a single monster survived that lightning-fast execution. That final fatal strike settled the score. Slowly, the blinding light and Subaru's intense aura began to flicker out. Gasping for air, Subaru felt the heavy toll on his stamina. Damn it, I needed that energy for the trek back. He used his sword as a crutch just to stay upright. I completely underestimated how much juice that move drains. A group of survivors approached from behind, stopping dead in their tracks at the sight of the absolute carnage. Beluza stared at the battlefield in utter disbelief. Then he sprinted toward the exhausted warrior in a panic. Our savior Subaru turned his head toward the voice, but his vision was already starting to fade into darkness. His lungs burned as he fought for air, watching Beluza's worried face blur into a hazy mess of colors. What a total moron. Just as Beluza reached out, Subaru's world went black. He had finally hit his limit. Back in a frantic room, a desk device buzzed incessantly. The trio inside were drowning in pure, unfiltered anxiety. Shaheen looked up, sounding worried. Did we push things too far? John just shrugged, looking completely lost. Don't look at me, man. I will never understand the female brain. Hatsuka sat nearby, burying her face. This is a disaster, she whimpered. Her face was bright red, sweat dripping as she spiraled into regret. She rubbed her temples, agonizing over her choices. Maybe I was too cold. What if it sounded like a robot? I definitely needed more emojis. Segan crossed his arms, nodding. Yeah, it definitely read like a dry work memo. So you are just another obsessive fangirl, huh? John teased. Honestly, I thought you were aiming for manager. Hatsuka snapped her head up, her voice rising. I can be a professional manager and a hardcore fan, okay. Can you blame me for being hyped? She stood up abruptly, marching toward the boss with fire in her eyes. She pressed a hand to her heart. That legendary charisma is something only Tsubasa Nazukami could ever pull off. It is a vibe unique to him and this entire squad. Segan just let out a long, weary sigh. At least I managed to keep my paycheck safe. He rubbed his chin, a small smirk playing on his lips. No wonder he is untouchable. He is must-watch television. Suddenly, the device pinged with a new signal. Hatsuka's eyes practically turned into sparkles. Oh, boss, but Segan's next update sent a chill down her spine. It looks like Tsubasa Nazukami finally read the message. The moment the words left his mouth, Hatsuka froze. He totally left me on red. The guys stared as she turned into a literal statue of pure embarrassment. Meanwhile, in a room packed with rare anime figures, an energetic voice cut through the silence. All right then. A young man sat perched in a high-end gaming throne, surrounded by top-tier tech and glowing LED screens. Shaking with hype, he stared at the monitors. Shall we dive in? This was the pro player analyst himself. Armed with insane gaming knowledge, he had dismantled every opponent to build a legendary reputation in the community. Hoki was already deep into the footage, dissecting the plays of top-tier gamers like Kuzukawa Amon, the future star of Blue Zone. A full breakdown of Kuzukawa Amon. Hoki pointed sharply at the data. A new dark horse is blitzing the tower, basically the second Nazukami. Now, Hoki is making his move on Kazuki Kyojo. The Earth representative is under massive pressure, but it is time to dissect his true power. No doubt about it, the living legend Nazukami Subaru remains in a league of his own. That throne belongs to him, Hoki claimed. He's a beast operating on a totally different dimension. Who's the G-O-A-T? You're all thinking of the same person. Exactly, it's Subaru Nazukami. Hoki kicked off his stream with high energy. Yo, Hoki here. Thanks for dropping in, everyone. Today we're diving deep into the hype surrounding the man of the hour, Nazukami Subaru. Chat went wild instantly. Subaru's back. Wait, is it the real deal or just a copycat? Floor 2 already. There are way too many Subarus these days. Guess people are running out of names. Ignoring the salt, Hoki scrolled through. Come on guys, let's not kill the vibe just yet. As Hoki replayed the footage, he went speechless. All he could manage was a breathless, whoa. Absolute madness, the viewers flipped. Who is this dude? How is a rookie this cracked? This is peak gameplay. Is he that gacha god everyone hypes up? What floor is he even on? Doubt vanished from the chat. Hoki stared at the screen, stunned. Wait, what am I even seeing? Witnessing that god-tier play, Hoki gasped one word, peak. Then the breakdown began. Look at that focus. Nobody masters a fresh skill that fast. He was genuinely floored. He manipulated his energy with surgical precision, pouring every ounce of power into his blade. Fans chimed in. Is that even possible, mad respect? Wait, what's happening? Am I missing something? Oh, now I see it. Still confused. It's simple. The guy is a straight-up god. This is legendary Hoki's right, that microcontrol and focus are out of this world. His insane mental focus allows for perfect timing, but can a human really be this precise? Zero mistakes. Flawless execution. Hoki leaned in whispering, where did this monster even crawl out from? Most of you can't even fathom the skill on display, he thought before wrapping up. He signed off with a vow. This kid is the real deal. I'm keeping my eyes on him. Even after the stream, the chat buzzed. I thought he was a tank. You gonna duo with him? Isn't that your style? If he levels up, a collab would be fire. Honestly, he's just built different. One message caught Hoki's eye. No final verdict today. Hoki paused. Ah, almost forgot. I missed my signature closing line. After a long silence, he finally dropped the truth. In terms of pure mechanics, he might actually surpass Prime Nazukami. Cut to reality. Subaru was out cold until he suddenly snapped awake, a strange instinct pulling him from sleep. The system chimed stage 6, imminent. Fatigue reset to 0. Delay the trial. He remembered the rules for a break. First, the previous stage must be cleared. Second, the next floor hasn't started, and you must be at peak physical condition. Subaru rubbed his neck. Physically, he was fine, but his mind was absolutely fried. Time for a breather, he muttered, reaching for his phone. His eyes widened at the viewer count. He addressed the camera one last time. That's all for today, guys. Catch you later. The chat exploded with activity. Wait already. Guess even legends need their beauty sleep. Sweet dreams, they cheered. Subaru blinked. Since when did I become this popular? Sorry, folks, but I'm taking a personal day. See you all the day after tomorrow. The moment his stream went dark, a blinding flash signaled the opening of a mysterious rift. Yanked from his room, Subaru was warped away. Floor 8 cleared, then his phone buzzed. Instead of moving, Subaru froze, staring at a high-priority notification that stopped him in his tracks. It was from Sultan Entertainment. Greetings, Subaru Nazukami. I'm Hatsuka from the management team. We've been watching you. Our agency offers elite support and the best revenue cuts in the game. We guarantee industry-leading pay. Suspicious Subaru lowered his mask to reread every word. A scouting offer, and it was from the giants themselves, Sultan Entertainment. At a quiet cafe, Subaru sat mesmerized, his eyes glued to the letter that could change his life. Subaru dove online hunting for intel on the mysterious Sultan Entertainment. This MCN titan dominated streamer management, fueled by massive capital and explosive growth. Their support was legendary. Times have changed, he realized. Companies like this are the new kings. Scanning the data, Subaru's brow furrowed. They weren't just big, they were industry juggernauts. They ruled the entertainment world. Suddenly, a post titled Streamer Hoki caught his eye. Sultan's rising star, Nazukami, had arrived. In raw mechanics alone, he was a total beast. He'd already eclipsed the original. The comment section was a war zone of heated debates and salty fans. As a caster, Hoki is elite, but critics claimed he'd sold out and forgotten his origins. Hoki actually praised him. That's wild, considering how notoriously brutal and strict that man is. Another Sultan streamer. A commentator feared for his savage honesty. The hype online was reaching a fever pitch. Subaru felt a rush of adrenaline. Getting a nod from Hoki, maybe the guy actually has decent taste. Outside, heavy footsteps marched with purpose, closing in on the cafe where Subaru sat. A massive figure halted outside, eyes glued to his screen, replaying Hoki's latest viral livestream. Hoki's voice boomed. In pure mechanical control, this kid might even surpass Nazukami in his prime. Isaac killed the screen, his blood boiling. You've got to be kidding me. He's only on floor 2, Isaac spat. Just wait until I get my hands on him upstairs. I'll rip their eyes out. Consumed by fury, Isaac stomped the pavement, leaving a visible tremor. Damn it. He stormed into the shop, mood totally trashed, only to stop dead in his tracks. His temper flared white-hot once more. Right there, sitting calmly, was Subaru. Isaac seethed. Is my luck seriously this trash? I can't escape this guy. Subaru was light years away, completely buried in the digital world, and oblivious to the looming threat. Isaac prowled toward him. Seizing the moment of distraction, he made his move. He slammed into the scalding coffee. Searing liquid splashed everywhere, forcing Subaru to leap back in shock. Subaru froze upon seeing his face. Isaac tossed out a fake mocking apology. Oh, my bad. Playing dumb, Isaac smirked. We're bumping into each other a lot. The second floor is tiny, huh? His voice dripped with malice. What a buzzkill for a morning. Subaru just kept his cool. He tried to walk away, but Isaac wasn't done. He smelled blood and wanted to twist the knife. Need me to buy you another? You're always broke anyway. Subaru tuned out the pathetic rambling. Subaru brushed past him in silence. Cut off mid-sentence, Isaac's ego shattered, and his eyes burned with rage. Hey, he roared, itching for a brawl. I thought I gave you a warning last time. Got a problem. He lunged, snatching Subaru's collar. You little punk. He was inches from Subaru's nose. Lose the smug face. You think you're getting away. If you're begging for a beatdown, I'll gladly oblige. You should have just asked. I'll break you again, just like I did in the good old days. Done with the drama, Subaru watched the lunatic. He calmly caught Isaac's wrist. My bad. But he threw the hand off. I'm too busy for your games today. His grip was surprisingly crushing. Isaac's skin bruised instantly. He stood there stunned. When did this loser get so damn strong? Subaru walked off without a care. Consider that coffee, your treat. Thanks for the drink. He vanished, leaving a shell-shocked Isaac holding the bill. Hey, the man screamed into the empty air. Get back here. Subaru didn't flinch as the cafe door slammed shut behind him. It felt like a physical slap to Isaac's pride. Man, I just wanted a quiet tower climb. He cracked his knuckles, fuming. First it was Natsuki, now it's this Hosoi guy. He stormed out, leaving his coffee cold. Everyone's out to get me. Meanwhile, Subaru kept strolling casually. Something clicked. Oh right. His fingers danced across the screen, firing off a quick text. In a steamy bathroom, Hatsuka relaxed in the tub until a sharp notification chime cut through. It was Natsuki. Subaru, meet me in the dungeon. A single beam of light illuminated the screen. A graveyard of monster corpses littered the ground. The echoes of battle had finally faded into silence. Subaru gripped his crimson glowing blade. He stood before the massive boss gate as a system alert chimed. He stepped into the exiled lizard's lair. A new notification flickered before his eyes, signaling the final encounter. Level 3, Greed's Spike, suppressed the demon sword's curse. Subaru steeled his nerves, preparing for the upcoming clash. This new body was finally starting to feel natural. Suddenly, a pillar of fire erupted from the darkness above. A colossal lizard wreathed in roaring flames lunged forward. The system screamed a warning. Boss Salamander has arrived. The beast let out a blood-curdling roar. Subaru didn't flinch, diving into the fray with calculated lethal precision. He couldn't afford another mistake. This was the perfect chance to push Thunderclap to its absolute limit. Steel met scale as they collided. Subaru surged lightning through his legs, supercharging his movement speed. He launched himself skyward with explosive force. This was the moment, a predatory lunge that felt strangely familiar. He felt the power of his former glory returning. The salamander snapped its jaws, prepping a lethal counterattack. An incinerating blast of fire surged toward him. Instantly, Subaru flooded his blade with crackling electric energy. System alert, lightning infused, Subaru swung the demon sword, his strike cleaving the monster's hellfire in two. System warnings flared. Lightning nullification failed, sending a wave of crushing fatigue through his body. Subaru brushed off the warnings. He was determined to test the true depths of his growing strength. His blade traced a perfect shimmering arc through the air. The monster fell, marking a definitive victory. Alert exiled lizard's hideout conquered. Subaru leveled up, gaining 1 point to his strength stat. His stamina ticked up. Exiting the dungeon, the sky was pitch black. Fatigue status 61. Subaru was genuinely impressed. The stamina consumption reduction was performing far better than he'd ever anticipated. He still had gas in the tank to push even harder. Yet looking at the interface, he sighed. The screen flashed with Greed's Spike details, a rank D skill, now sitting at level 3. It negates item penalties, but costs 40,000 to upgrade. Subaru's heart sank at the steep price. Doubling the reputation cost felt like a total scam. As he brooded over the grind, a thought occurred. If only a lucrative job would drop in my lap, he muttered. Suddenly, a familiar voice drifted through. Subaru scanned the shadows as a tall silhouette emerged. That voice, it sounded dangerously familiar. The stranger stepped closer, repeating the question. As the moonlight hit his face, the realization finally struck. It was Isaac, looking surprisingly pleased. They went way back, but this reunion felt anything but friendly. Running into this guy after a grueling fight was a nightmare. Subaru's annoyance was reaching a boiling point. You really don't know when to quit, Subaru spat. Isaac just gave a dismissive, casual wave. I tried to be patient, really, Isaac sneered, his rage becoming palpable. He began closing the distance. He was itching for a fight. Why don't we just end this right here? And now, Subaru. Subaru looked at him with pure disgust. Meanwhile, in the city's heart, the neon lights painted the streets. Trendy crowds moved through the district. Hockey stepped into a dimly lit bar, searching for a specific face. A hand shot up from a corner booth. John was already there, flashing a cheerful grin at Hockey. Long time no see, John Hockey said warmly. John nodded, asking how his latest business ventures were faring. Everything's steady. My audience is loyal, so the view counts haven't shifted much lately. John took a sip and smiled. That's actually a win. Slow growth builds a foundation that won't crumble. Hockey rolled his eyes at the lecture. So why the sudden invite? You didn't bring me for tea? Get to the point already, Hockey pushed. John chuckled, impressed by how quickly his friend cut through. Sharp as ever, Hockey. Tell me more about that Subaru Jonosukami kid you scouted yesterday. Were you for real about him? John asked. Hockey leaned back, taking another sip of his water. The rookie, his raw talent might actually eclipse the original Subaru's peak. But whether he'll survive is uncertain. Hockey's eyes grew distant. The potential for greatness was there, but the path ahead was shrouded in mystery. John absorbed the information, his mind racing. I see. So that's how high you've ranked him. Hockey grinned, curious. What's the play? John didn't hesitate. I'm going to recruit him for the company. Hearing that, Hockey nodded instantly. You've got sharp instincts, but his channel is basically a ghost town. That's why you've hesitated, right? Nobody knows his name yet. John swirled the liquid in his glass thoughtfully. Spot on, but your faith actually seals the deal. With a smirk, he laid out a bold new proposal. Let's pair him with Subaru Nakazumi for a collab. We'll manufacture his fame and skyrocket those view counts ourselves. Back with Subaru, Isaac's ego was surging. Finally, no witnesses. Just you and me, loser. Bored Subaru turned to leave with a cold, whatever. But Isaac wasn't done yapping his mouth. You only survived that dungeon because you rode my coattails, Isaac sneered, dripping with pure arrogance. Not even a scratch. You clearly bolted the moment things got real. Stay in your lane, small fry. He kept barking, fueled by the delusion that his sheer luck was actually hidden talent. Don't tell me you've started hallucinating that you're actually him. He leaned in wearing a toxic grin. Fantasizing about lightning like that loser Nakazumi, Isaac gripped Subaru's shoulder, his voice laced with venom. Subaru Nakazumi was garbage. He belongs in the dirt. All you fanboys are just a massive eyesore. After spewing his hate, he glanced at Subaru, waiting for him to nod along like a loyal dog. Staring at the clown before him, Subaru let out a long, weary sigh of pure exhaustion. The world is drowning in clones these days, Subaru muttered before tossing out a question of his own. Tell me something. Why is your hate for me so obsessive? The blunt question caught Isaac off guard. Because your name is Subaru, period. Subaru tilted his head. And why does that name trigger you? Usually people respect it, right? Isaac flinched. Do you have any idea who my father is? And you're still playing dumb. Subaru was genuinely confused. Wait, what does that have to do with anything? We're talking about us, not your parents. You're an adult. Why hide behind your family tree? Jenner, a high ranker from the 9th floor. Hearing that name, Subaru's eyes widened. Jenner, the one/swordsman. Suddenly, a jagged fragment of a past life tore through Subaru's consciousness. A frantic alarm blared through the system. Emergency. The impossible has just occurred. The blue-eyed Subaru Nakazumi, the comet from Earth who obliterated Ranker Jenner of the ancient continent with a single, devastating strike. Subaru walked away, leaving Jenner in a ruined wasteland. The entire slaughter had taken less than 30 seconds. Drowning in his own blood, Jenner clawed at the dirt. Wait, I'm not done. But his body failed. His arm dropped lifeless. A 9th floor titan had fallen. Fast forward to the present day. Subaru's tone ignited Isaac's fury. You piece of trash. Don't you dare speak his name with that mouth. Subaru clarified. So I'm your enemy because of your dad's old reputation. Seriously. The one/swordsman Subaru's brow twitched. Do you realize the hell Subaru Nakazumi went through? Isaac snapped, his patience evaporating. Shut your damn mouth. Say one more word and I'll end you. Violent flames erupted, trapping them in an inferno. Subaru just stood there calmly, observing the amateur's rage. Isaac's hands mutated into claws of heat. Talk time is over. Die. A core of concentrated fire ignited. I loathe Subaru Nakazumi, he screamed. Just thinking about him makes my skin crawl with disgust. He was mid at best, yet he hogged every spotlight and acted like some untouchable god. His leadership made everyone soft. That's why they all ended up as corpses alongside him, Isaac spat. Good riddance. They're probably rotting in the deepest pits of hell right now, exactly where they belong. Grinning like a maniac, Isaac unleashed his fury. Carrying that name was your death sentence, kid. The blast struck Subaru with a thunderous roar. Isaac exhaled, certain he'd just deleted his rival. Oops. My bad, my power is just too cracked. Poor friend, gone too soon. What a tragedy. Drunk on his own delusion, Isaac sneered. Maybe I'll hunt down that masked bastard next. Then a voice cut through the soot. A mask, you said. Isaac's blood turned to ice. Panic surged as Subaru stepped through the dying embers, completely untouched by the lethal blast. He stood, revealed in the exact gear from the viral stream. You mean this look, the ground hissed. Surrounded by the roaring remains of his own fire, Isaac's jaw dropped in sheer terror. No way. Subaru stands without a single scratch. Impossible. That fire strike landed dead center. Instead of panicking, Subaru ice-coldly retorts to Isaac's fury. Call it karma, don't you think? Cutting his own words short, he explodes toward Isaac. Pay attention, you spoiled punk. A soul-crushing punch connects. It buries into Isaac's solar plexus, making his vision fade. His pupils quiver as a choked groan escapes. Isaac collapses right at Subaru's boots. Agonizing wails erupt. Crimson sprays from Isaac's mouth alongside his desperate cries. Subaru glares down with utter contempt. Wiping away the gore, Isaac glares back. He gasps out, how are you? Subaru's response is chillingly calm. Take a good look. Is this the same Subaru you used to torment? The masked phantom, or the blue-eyed Subaru? With that, he uncovers his face. Coughing blood, Isaac snarls. Quit playing games with me. So you're that Nazukami streamer, huh? He wobbles up, a nasty smirk forming. That lightning gimmick is mid if a piece of trash like you mastered it. Power surges in his palm as his ego flares. You really think you've won? If a pathetic insect can learn that trick, imagine what I'll do with it. Isn't that right, Blue Eyes? Subaru stays silent, enduring the man's delusions. Answer me, you bastard, Isaac screams, launching a desperate, messy assault. Subaru casually flicks his wrist. In a flash, Isaac's arm is severed, spinning through the air. It's over in a heartbeat. Isaac can't even process the loss. Wrong answer, Subaru sighs. Honestly, I'm impressed you can spout such nonsense while being so wrong. The cold steel rests against Isaac's neck. Wait. What do you mean, he stammers. Fear paralyzes him as the weight of Subaru's questions finally sinks in. Tarnishing that name was your final mistake. Realization hits Isaac like a freight train. Shaking violently, he manages to choke out, You're the real Nazukami. Before the sentence ends, Subaru delivers a lethal slash. Blood geysers into the air. Finishing him off, Subaru mutters, game over. Isaac's body thuds heavily onto the pavement. Masked once more, Subaru whispers to the original body, thanks for the vessel. The scene shifts to the next morning at a familiar coffee shop. Inside, the atmosphere is electric, with rumors and judgmental whispers. Is he some obsessed fanboy? Total cringe. He's way too into it. Subaru ignores the background noise, eyes glued to the screen in his hand. His no-face streaming rule was proving to be a massive tactical advantage. He could walk the streets as a ghost. Suddenly, a young woman rushes in. So, sorry I'm late, it's Hatsuka, her face flushed with nerves. I'm the one who reached out, she blurts, introducing herself as his manager. Subaru stands to greet her. Hatsuka's hand trembles as they shake. It's a huge honor, she squeaks, unable to ignore the striking resemblance. Her mind races, could the legend actually be standing right here? Is he hiding behind a mask? Or is he just a very convincing imposter? Is there a problem? Subaru asks, catching her staring intensely. She panics, remembering John's warning about earning a client's trust. Great job, Hatsuka, she scolds herself. You've already messed this up. Watching her pull at her hair, Subaru asks, are you a Nazukami fan? Her eyes sparkle instantly. Yes, a total hardcore stan. Subaru chuckles. I'm just a lookalike, so relax. Besides, aren't you younger than me? I'm actually your biggest fan, Hatsuka squealed. The moment they hit her favorite topic, her inner fangirl was fully unleashed. She was on a total roll. Seriously, I've been subbed since you had zero clout, and no audience at all. That makes me your very first witness from when you crushed that bat and cleared GZ's brutal trial. But then you chose the lightning challenge just for a fair duel. It was such a massive flex, I was stunned. Subaru never expected to find such a die-hard stan in her. Meanwhile, Hatsuka kept rambling with pure, unadulterated hype. And those clean, high-level mechanics, watching you dominate every encounter instantly, is just a total vibe. My heart was racing. I've faced a giant fragment myself, so I know how cracked you really are. Subaru listened, completely floored. Was she truly his original viewer? She remembered his stats better than he did. Under the mask, a genuine smile tugged at his lips. I was such a noob back then. It's wild that you stayed. Hatsuka beamed even brighter, practically radiating joy. It was legendary, right? It felt like destiny. I literally begged the company to let me be your manager. After spilling her fan lore, she snapped back into professional mode in a heartbeat. All right, time to get serious and earn your trust. She already had the contract prepped and waiting on the table. Since you're on a grind, here's the TLDR. She slammed the paperwork down with absolute authority. From ads to viral clips and exclusive events, we're going to scale your brand to the moon. We'll turn the Natsuki Subaru icon into a global powerhouse. Subaru grabbed the contract. So what's the catch? Just keep being you, Hatsuka chirped. It sounded way too easy. Subaru felt a wave of suspicion creep in. Is that it? He asked. Hatsuka fidgeted nervously. Well, you're the first person to ever master Loi. That's huge. Even the department head is hyped about you. Internally, she cheered. Good job, me. Keep the momentum going. Time for one final hustle, she asked enthusiastically. So what do you think? Are the terms a total vibe? Suddenly, Subaru pivoted. Are all the managers at SAO tongue like you, Miss Hatsuka? Her smile vanished instantly. She crumbled, shrinking back in shame. No, the others are elite professionals. I'm clearly the disaster here. Seeing her panic, Subaru quickly clarified. Wait, no, that's not what I meant at all. His eyes scanned her, analyzing her aura. This wasn't just a manager. Her energy screamed top-tier player. For someone with her skill to be a mere manager, Hatsuka spiraled. We're cooked, totally cooked, it's game over. Behind the mask, a shadow of worry crossed Subaru's face. This meant the opponents he was about to face were on a whole different level. No time to chill. He had to pick up the pace. Meanwhile, Hatsuka was drowning in anxiety. Her face fell during her internal monologue. I have to look reliable. What if he rejects the deal now? At this rate, should I just force him to sign? Contrary to her dark thoughts, Subaru reached out his hand. He accepted the deal. I get it now. You're someone I can actually trust. Hatsuka froze in complete disbelief. Please take care of me, Subaru said sincerely. Overwhelmed with relief, her eyes welled up with happy tears. She gripped his hand like a lifeline. I should be saying that I won't let you down. The stream roared to life as Subaru appeared again. This time his viewer count was already skyrocketing. The chat exploded with pure hype the moment he logged in. He's back. Yo, I've been waiting for this. Look at the newbie, too close to the lens man, but that mask is a total mood. Looks like he's hitting the same grind again. The 703 viewers, Subaru's jaw dropped. Reaching those numbers so early into the stream was absolutely insane. Was this the Hatsuka effect? Her earlier announcement regarding the stream schedule must have funneled this massive crowd in. Refusing to keep his audience waiting, Subaru dove straight into the dungeon. Alright, let's get this show started. System alert, stage 6. The unsung legend begins. Instantly, the environment morphed into a dense, rain-drenched forest. A war camp sat nestled in the shadows. Inside, the main tent, soldiers huddled around their commander in grim silence. Belusar demanded, "Fakon, where is our savior?" Fakon started to answer, but a bitter voice cut him off instantly. "I smell a rat." "Since when do we trust some random commoner over a night?" Murmurs of agreement rippled through. "Exactly. You're telling me some nobody just waltzed in and soloed the giant clan boss. That is pure cap. Unless you witnessed it personally, Commander, you got played. Was that even the true boss of the giant clan? Or just some low-level grunt?" Belusar's blood boiled at their disrespect. "How dare you speak of our savior like that?" "Lord Belusar." A voice shouted from the rain. "The hero has awakened." Without a word, the commander bolted outside. "Are you feeling all right?" Subaru emerged, looking remarkably refreshed. "Thanks to your care, I am back on my feet." The soldier's eyes narrowed with doubt. "That is the legend. He looks like a total weakling. No way he is him." Subaru read the room instantly. "You guys don't believe me, do you? Or maybe you are just too scared to admit it." Luckily, Hatsuka had taught him a pro-gamer move, a specific pose that let him toggle his microphone frequency stealthily. Now, only his stream could hear his thoughts. "This feature is a literal lifesaver," Subaru mused, feeling grateful. Ignoring the toxic whispers, he brushed past the doubting soldiers. This drama was getting old. He had work to do. The audacity. The chat exploded with hype. Wait, did he just smirk under the mask? Don't sleep on him. The man radiated pure confidence. An elderly soldier stepped forward, extending a hand in a gesture of genuine respect. "The name is Dale." Subaru shook it firmly. "Honored to meet you, sir." But Dale's expression remained clouded with anxiety. "I tried to save the village, but they were all crushed." Subaru paused, his brow furrowing. "Crushed? By what?" "By that thing," Dale whispered hoarsely. The vagueness sent a chill through Subaru. "Wait, are you implying that?" "There is something even worse than the boss," Dale nodded grimly. "As the ancient records state, you should know. The primordial giants monsters that once challenged the heavens were sealed away eons ago. We thought they were extinct. Current giants are just mere echoes of their power. But..." Dale began to shake violently at the mere mention of it. "The beast that rose after you slew the boss is different. It is a living legend, a true nightmare of old. I never dreamed such a horror still breathed." His words sent the live chat into a total frenzy of speculation. Is that a floor 8 level threat? No player has ever cleared that far. If this is real, we are cooked. How do you even fight a god? The terror wasn't just in the chat. The soldiers looked like they had seen ghosts. Subaru didn't blink. He just stared into the rain. Well, then the only thing left to do was kill it. Dale was stunned by the kid's nerves of steel. "You have guts, kid. But remember, we are in a desperate spot. We are begging for a miracle that doesn't exist." The background hecklers scoffed. "He is just talking big and clueless. He will sing a different tune when he sees that monster." Belusar stepped forward, his eyes burning with hope. "Savior. The ancient scriptures speak of it. At the summit of Millennium Mountain, piercing the clouds and hidden from the world. A shard of divine lightning lies hidden, and the only soul capable of claiming its power is you. It has to be you." Meanwhile, the village had become a living hell of choking smoke and roaring flames. As giants stormed the gates, a colossal shadow loomed. A rhythmic, guttural chant echoed through the screams of the dying. A titan 10 times larger than the rest appeared. "My child," it croaked, snatching a soldier like a toy. The soldier shrieked in pure terror as he was hoisted toward the sky. The titan's grip tightened. "I will." Crunch, he was crushed like a toy. The giant growled, "I will offer your pathetic human blood to my fallen son." Subaru watched the carnage unfold from the ridge. Mounted on his horse, he looked down at the burning ruins below. That thing is massive. The chat was losing their minds. Wait, the boss from before was just its baby. Is that a true giant absolute unit? Subaru yanked the reins, turning his horse. He took one final cold look back. He is planning a total massacre. The chat was trembling. This test is literally designed to kill us all. The difficulty spike is insane. Is the system even monitoring this? Before departing, Belusar leaned in with final instructions. The Titan arrives in 3 days. Fail to find the lightning and you're dead. Run for your life. Ahead lies Millennium Mountain, a peak that pierces the heavens. He scales it to slay the giant, needing the lightning's power to survive. This trial's key is close. The skeptical chat bets he'll fail multiple times. Reading their doubts, Subaru declares, "No challenge in this tower can stop me." He cringes instantly. Crap, did I just use a cheesy catchphrase by accident? The chat explodes, so confident. Wait, haven't we heard that iconic line before? Suddenly, notifications flood in. Safe asset set a quest. Slay it for 3,000 reputation. Subaru accepts an impossible quest. Bam job enters. The stakes just hit the ceiling. Just pocket change, Subaru sighs. At least they're vibing and I'm not caught. Subaru yanks the reins. His horse whinnies, skidding to a halt. He has arrived. He leaps down, searching. Somewhere here, a hidden fragment of lightning awaits him. Before him looms a massive cliff. He begins scouring the jagged ancient rocks. Belphegor's words haunt him. The lightning is a legend, power item, or soul. Unknown. Subaru asks, do you actually know how I can claim its power? Belusar sighs. We only have myths and locations, but one thing is certain. The lightning's previous master obliterated the giants. Cut to Hatsuka on the phone. A voice barks. What is it? Hatsuka cheers. The contract is finalized, boss. John's stunned. For real, he's self-taught. That's insane. Ha ha ha. You pulled it off. Hatsuka has finally leveled up into a real professional. Beaming, she tosses her bag and dives into her room. Finally, some respect. Wait, are you praising me? John adds. I met Hoki, but listen closely. Before he finishes, Hatsuka hangs up. She collapses onto her bed, purely exhausted. Work's finally done. Time for my secret pleasure watching the live stream. She opens Subaru's channel, indulging in that sweet, sweet, live otaku dopamine fix. On screen, Subaru declares, no challenge in this entire tower can bring me down. She freezes. Her eyes bulge as she bolts upright, her face pale with shock. That phrase, it's from 25 years ago. Why is it being said now? Suddenly, a boulder trembles under massive impact. The chat section is pure chaos. Bare hands, no way. A deep crater forms in stone as Subaru keeps pushing. Give me something tougher, he roars, swinging again. Let's fight until the end. Boom. The punch detonates the rock, sending debris raining down like lethal hail. Through the dust, he sees it. Found you, Subaru, strides forward, fist clenched tight. You guys won't get it, this feeling. Words can't describe it through a screen. Colossal thunder energy calls to my soul from behind this massive ancient gateway. He charges. Chat's buzzing. That door's for giants. How will he move it? Just smash it, that's your style. He touches the surface, feeling the power. Golden light bleeds through the cracks. Talk about an obvious clue, he thinks. System alert. Greedy lightning spear level 3, unlocked. Backlash nullified. The real trial begins. A heavy punch lands. Subaru air dashes. If you're calling me this loudly, I will answer, he bellows, as golden energy obliterates the massive stone wall. He watches the rubble fall unfazed. Without hesitating, he walks into the abyss. Chat is exploding. He's just tanking through. A massive event is about to happen. Let's go. Subaru stops dead. He sees something. Then, with eyes of steel, he steps forward. The system whispers, now entering the path of the lightning. Trapped until the stage ends. Silence hung heavy as the group grappled with their own inner demons. Real talk, Belusar. You think he can actually tame that lightning? Belusar didn't even flinch as he answered. He'll do it. I'd bet my life on it. The other man frowned. He's a total outsider, though. Why the blind faith? A confident smirk played on his lips. That guy's already shown his worth. Doubt isn't even an option anymore. Who cares about lightning? We're all dead meat regardless. A shaky, panicked voice cried out from the back. You don't get it. Belusar gritted his teeth. I've faced that giant before. I know exactly how terrifying his power is. Thinking back to the village, Belusar slumped down. But we can't quit now, can we? Let's trust him one last time. That kid, he risked everything for us and never asked for a dime. His eyes began to brim with tears. Easy for you to say. Suddenly the ground erupted in a violent tremor, sending everyone into a blind panic. We're screwed, someone screamed. A scout burst in, face pale with pure terror. He's arrived. He's actually here. Terror froze them in place, jaws dropping. Meanwhile, deep in the frozen cavern, Subaru pressed on with ice-cold focus. What's the play here? The chat started blowing up. Bruh, there's literally nothing in this cave. Total dead end. Empty. Or maybe the lightning's moving faster than the eye can track. His gaze sharpened. Yeah, that tracks. Lightning starts as invisible charges saturating the air. No wonder I can't see a thing with my bare eyes. This isn't a sight test. The realization hit. This trial is called the Path of the Lightning's Wake for a reason. The massive energy deep within. It's calling to me. A sudden pull, Subaru froze as his pupils shrank in shock. He punched the floor. The challenge isn't the bolt itself, but the invisible current surging through this entire place. The air is thick with it. The deeper I venture, the more intense the feedback gets. Then, without warning, a golden arc flashed as a boulder hurtled at him, detonating on impact. The chat went wild. Yo, what was that? I was right, he realized. But knowing the danger didn't change his mission. He had to keep pushing forward. Talk about bad taste. His eyes turned lethal. Fine. If this is an endurance test, then bring it on. Bottom line, survive or die. A robotic chime echoed. IA has donated 100 reputation points. Don't stop now. Go for it. Donations flooded in as he charged ahead, his pace turning aggressive and bold. Face set in stone, his gaze cut like glass. Quest reward secured. Thanks for the carry, guys. Elsewhere, Soup bubbled softly. Amidst the rising steam, Sig sat hunched over in his chair, letting out a heavy contemplative sigh. Xena kicked the door open, making him jump. He scrambled to hide something under his palm, acting totally sus. She exhaled, leaning in with a mischievous smirk. Ooh, what's the secret? Watching something spicy, are we? It's nothing like that. Just beat okay, he stuttered. She just grinned, plopping down right beside him. You know they say hair grows faster when you're thinking things. He groaned. Stop making it weird, Xena. I told you that's not what's happening, she laughed. Well, ever since you mentioned that I totally quit the stream. I guess it is what it is, he mumbled, trying to pivot. Anyway, what are you even doing in here? She casually shoved a piece of cake in her mouth. Why the attitude I can't catch a break on the couch? That's not it at all. His voice wavered. Fine, if you're staying, I guess I'll just have to deal with it. You don't have to make it sound so dramatic, he barked. Xena winced, clamping her hands over her ears. Chill, my eardrums are literally bleeding, she snapped. He just kept shouting, fine, do whatever you want. Just ignore me. But his hands were shaking, palms sweating as he gripped his phone like a lifeline. He sighed. You're always so hard-headed. You never listen. She just scowled. Seriously, what a freak. She stormed off, totally fed up. This is insane. He blinked, calling after her. Wait, where are you going? You could have hung out longer, grabbed some snacks, or even crashed for a bit. The bedroom door slammed shut, and he finally exhaled. Checking his screen, he muttered, that was way too close. Anxiety gnawed at him. She almost caught me red-handed. If she found out I was still tuned into the stream, she'd blow a gasket. I can't even fathom the drama. But honestly, even if the roles were swapped, Subaru would never abandon us. The phone's audio crackled. So, it's simple if you can't endure the pain. You're dead. Sig went quiet, lost in his head. That attitude, that specific way he speaks. It's the spitting image of Subaru. Thanks for the reward. And yet, he's nothing like the Subaru I knew. I'm totally lost when it comes to this desperate, high-stakes reputation point grind. A hand gripped his shoulder as a low, gravelly voice echoed. Ask yourself that instead. Gina's touch made his face go pale. Her voice was pure, cold steel. Thought I'd miss that. You're too amateur to play me, a cold, robotic voice hissed. Forge the lightning's path. Subaru wept in silence, realizing how fragile existence truly is. He stumbled forward, drained of life until golden light erupted, and the system spoke. Progress 2.3%. A violent jolt rocked his arm, that familiar electric sting of lightning. I've survived this 1,000 times. His gaze sharpened with grit as the system warned him. Only 2.3%. A long road ahead, he mused, his heart still heavy with doubt. He forced himself to believe the end was near. Then the chat started blowing up. Why isn't he sprinting? Dude, just run. Move it already, please. He shot an icy look at the screen. I'm done reading this. Just keep moving. He's too wrecked to check the chat. Survival is the only goal when you're this close to death. He thought, I want more than just survival. Subaru's exhausted face flickered across the monitor. Hoki watched the stream, paralyzed by thought. John's advice echoed, partner up with Subaru Natsuki Yami. Recalling that, he muttered icily. When was the last time John actually managed a project? John placed his glass down. Haven't I said this? In the entertainment game, strategy is everything. You're only half the equation. Knowing this was a test, he added, your bloodline defines you. The legends of this era dictate your fame. He smirked in approval. Bingo. Subaru's stream feels like a veteran's legacy, not just fan service. He's a rookie, but plays like a god. Just stick to your usual vibe. This, he paused, is a once-in-a-lifetime shot. To catch a shooting star and burn just as bright. Hoki felt the fire ignite inside him. He balled his fists, resolution locking in. His eyes flared, pupils shrinking before a wild grin broke out. You're scared of the tower, aren't you? Well, I'm going to be the greatest to ever do it. Believe it. He gazed at the serene sky, leaning back in his chair with total confidence. One star grasping for another. Is that my destiny? Snapping back to reality, he was stunned. He was reaching for thin air. What am I doing? I'm literally in the middle of a shift. He leaned into the monitor and screamed, Are you crazy? The stream continued, showing pure madness. Subaru stood defiant against the golden surge. Broken and battered, he refused to stop his advance. His legs shook, yet he forced another step. Every breath Subaru took was a jagged edge of agony. He realized the intense lightning was searing deep into his core. He stared at his trembling hands. This has to work. He pushed on as lightning flooded every tiny vein and the legendary pathways. Electricity surged through his veins. The system announced progress 20.7%. Minor meridians are clearing. Lightning is stabilizing. Magic power +1. I need to master this now. At any cost, he vowed. The central pillars are opening, and the minor vessels are finally igniting. They link his whole being. Once cleared, his power will have no limits. Energy saturated his entire frame. Anxious Subaru realized he was bypassing the standard purification process entirely. He was skipping the grind. I'm taking a shortcut, he realized as the system's cold voice echoed. Status critical. Convulsions starting. Blood dripped as he bypassed the normal mana flow rules. Subaru knew using raw lightning was a shortcut, but the agony was absolutely soul-shredding. Subaru closed his eyes, accepting the cost. A trail of crimson marked every agonizing step he took. The earth turned red. Hatsuka gripped her phone, watching the stream with a look of pure terror. Sweat poured down her face. He's actually clearing his minor meridians right now, she panicked. Is he really doing this? Moving his body with raw external force instead of his own mana. That external power. The pain has to be hellish. Anyone else would have blacked out by now. Death in the trial was just a simulation, yet she couldn't tear her eyes off Subaru's screen. The agony is real, she hissed through clenched teeth, her frame quivering. Why push himself to this extreme? Subaru pressed onward as a cold, robotic voice echoed. Completion status, 50.3%. Minor meridian purification is in progress. Chaotic lightning begins to harmonize within his physical vessel. Mana increased by 1. Battered and bleeding, he slumped to the earth. This is all on me, he cursed. He felt shattered. The guilt felt like he'd personally ended them. Sagan watched the feed unblinking. I've said it before, haven't I? He smirked. No trial is truly unbeatable, he declared with pure arrogance. Chill out, he reassured the crowd. I'm the one who takes the W. Yet Subaru's voice sounded hollow. He was running on fumes, sanity slipping away. If only he hadn't played it so reckless. If his ego hadn't forced them into this. Hot tears tracked through the grime on his face. Nobody had to catch a permanent L. Kazuki, face drenched in crimson, finally broke the silence. He spat a mocking laugh. You failed because you're all delusional, Subaru's mind finally snapped. He sprinted blindly into the dark, each heavy footstep painting the floor in a gruesome red. Self-loathing consumed him for his pathetic weakness. He hit the dirt, his battery finally hitting 0. Gasping for air, his mangled fingers clawed at the air, desperate to snatch a final fragment of hope. Suddenly, an infinite verdant meadow unfolded before him. Subaru watched the emerald leaves dance. Where am I? He whispered, as petals swirled. Then he spotted a small gathering ahead. They huddled around a flickering campfire. Subaru went rigid, every muscle locking in pure shock. His eyes blew wide as he choked out their names. Guys, Shio, Sora, Kyogi. Even Sig and Xena were there. He raced toward them, heart pounding. Was this just a cruel hallucination? He reached them, eyes blurred with tears and a shaky smile. This is how it should be, right? Man, that nightmare was total trash. Just listen to what I saw. Suddenly, a cold voice cut in. Subaru, you actually killed us. I didn't want to die. The accusation hit him like a physical blow. Shio sat nearby, her voice dripping with venom. You and your big, empty promises. A gruesome, gaping wound suddenly tore through her stomach. Her gaze was pure, unadulterated hatred. Why let us die? He could only gasp her name, eyes wide with horror. Shio. Instantaneously, an inferno roared to life between them. Drenched in cold sweat, Subaru stood paralyzed. He stammered, speechless, as the hungry flames began to swallow his friends whole. Subaru lunged forward, screaming, "Wait!" His desperate cries drowned in the roaring sea of fire. "Don't leave me. Wait." He squeezed his eyes, shut the agony of loss, tearing his soul apart. He crumpled, whispering, "Please," over and over, as the light grew into a blinding white supernova. The flash pulled him back to the real world. Gasped for air, he realized that was a dreamscape trap. Meridian clearing side effects are no joke. He'd nearly let his power go berserk. The system chimed. Progress 97.87%. Lesser lightning meridian unblocking nearly complete. Internal lightning stabilized. Mana increased by 1. Subaru's expression turned grim. Who designed this sadistic trial? He stood tall, bathed in arcs of brilliant golden electricity. Thanks for the reminder of why I fight. Kazuki's smug face flashed in his mind's eye. Cut to pure chaos. Terrified civilians huddled behind a wall of armed, trembling knights. A monstrous beast materialized instantly, looming just outside the defensive barrier. They waited for the signal to strike. Suddenly, the creature flashed a jagged, mocking grin. The knights exchanged panicked glances. You've got to be kidding. That's our target. That's the boss. Did that masked coward ditch us? Then a firm voice rang out from the rear. They spun around to see Bellis approaching. Our savior is coming back, he barked, with absolute certainty. You bet the village on a nameless stranger, and now you want to catch cold feet. They stammered in denial, but Bellis just scowled. Pathetic. And you call yourselves knights. Suddenly, Dale's hand landed on his shoulder. He's right, Dale chimed in. Protecting this place is on us, not him. He unsheathed his blade with a metallic ring. Dale leveled his sword at the beast. Knights aren't meant to be shielded. We are the shield. In a blur of motion, he lunged forward. His bravery ignited a fire in the others. Today we die with honor. Meanwhile, Subaru's system pinged progress 99%. A shimmering golden orb materialized before him. He stared, completely stunned. What is that? But the system's progress confirmed it. This was the finish line. Suddenly, his fatigue spiked to 97, forcing Subaru to freeze in his tracks. Radiant golden aura surged through his veins. Subaru charged toward the light, gritting his teeth just one more step. The system flashed a lethal warning, critical fatigue. Ignoring the danger, he forced his trembling legs forward, step by agonizing step. Suddenly, a heavy boot shattered the earth. Dale launched himself skyward, his blade whistling through the air in a devastating arc. Pouring every ounce of power into his strike, Dale carved through the monster. Crimson spray painted the battlefield instantly. The creature unleashed a soul-chilling shriek, lunging with a massive fist. Dale dodged the crushing blow by a hair's breadth. Bellis stormed in, blade gleaming. "I'll take it from here," he roared, using a jagged boulder as a springboard. He catapulted into the beast's line of sight. Caught off guard, the monster stared up at the oncoming knight in pure shock. His knuckles whitened as he gripped his hilt. Pure, unadulterated bloodlust burned in his eyes. Bellis's blade tore across the monster's face. It snarled in agony, its massive frame finally toppling backward into the dirt. Gore erupted as the behemoth slammed into the earth. Bellis touched down nearby, a picture of lethal grace. The watching knights erupted in triumphant roars. They did it. Sir Bellis and Sir Dale actually brought the beast down. "You acted like you owned this place, you disgusting freak." Bellis spat, then nodded to Dale. "Solid teamwork, Sir Dale. That nightmare is finally over." "We can breathe again," he wheezed, doubling over to catch his breath. Dale looked up, eyes narrowing. "Not yet. I warned you, these situations flip faster than a switch." "Thought it was tough." "Nah, Dale and Bellis are just on a whole different level," the soldiers whispered in awe. Time to mop up the rest of the giants. Before he could finish, a colossal foot pulverized him instantly. Dale stared in pure horror, realizing the truth. "It's him," Bellis shrieked, his voice cracking with fear. This new enemy was a different beast entirely. Meanwhile, Subaru reached out, his fingers trembling toward the glowing circle. Progress 99.99%. Subaru gripped the air, whispering, "I'll drag an apology out of you in hell." 100%. His eyes flared with a lethal light. "Kazuki," he hissed, voice dripping with murderous intent. "I'm coming for your head." Blinding golden radiance erupted from Subaru's body like a supernova. Jagged bolts of lightning slammed into him. Subaru turned away, exhaling a long, weary sigh of victory. "It's done." Sinister black veins spiderwebbed across the whites of his eyes, signaling a dark transformation. He collapsed backward as the raw energy surged through him. The system notifications began to scream. Minor meridians purged. Magic power boosted by 20%. Skill casting speed accelerated by 20%. All stats up by 2, Subaru swallowed the pain. "You could have warned me about that final surge dam system." He lay broken on the pulverized earth as the screen flashed Legend Scenario 6 complete. Back in the real world, John stared intently at his monitor, scrolling through the frantic comment section. "This difficulty is cracked. He's unconscious again," John muttered. "How long will he be out this time? Recklessness only goes so far. Guess he's not built for shortcuts." Suddenly, his phone vibrated with an incoming call. It was Hoki. "I'm glued to Subaru Junizukami's stream right now," John answered. Hoki sounded hyped. "You're watching too. This is absolutely wild, right?" John started breaking down the insane strategy. Hoki grinned, his eyes gleaming. "This guy isn't just a player. He's going to be a global superstar." "You think so?" John wondered, skeptical. "The road ahead looks brutal for a guy like him. He's a pro gamer first, a streamer second." John scratched his head. "Yeah, you're right about that. That's exactly why the fans are obsessed. They want the raw, unfiltered Subaru Junizukami, not some fake persona. He's a true competitor, not just an entertainer. We're witnessing the rise of a legendary player." John's thoughts were cut short. On the monitor, Subaru's hand twitched. He was already starting to stir. He fought to stand, sending the chat into a total meltdown. "He's awake already. That's insane recovery. The GOAT is back. He's actually alive." Subaru's eyelids fluttered open, his vision slowly clearing. His chest heaved as he clutched his throbbing head. "Damn it," he hissed through gritted teeth. System fatigue status. The screen flashed 81. Subaru let out a relieved breath. "Not bad. My stats must be carrying me now." That final bolt of lightning had nearly ended everything. Worth it, though. Notifications flooded his vision. Quest, complete, massive reputation points acquired. Reputation's at 20,420, he smirked. A rare rank D limit break skill finally dropped. This beast shatters item level caps instantly. Subaru sparked a sphere of pure crackling lightning into his palm. "Still won't evolve the grade," he muttered. "But slaying that titan might just push it over the edge." This was the ultimate trump card. The system revealed his soul-bound treasure, the legendary lightning spear. A relic forged from ancient thunder. One precise toss delivers a god-tier world-ending finishing blow. Only one charge remains. The live chat went absolutely feral. A one-tap weapon. In this zone, broken. "How did that drop here?" fans gasped. Subaru panted, knowing his elite account was just built different. "High-tier loot on the second floor is unheard of." "Exactly," Subaru whispered, eyes locked on the prize. "Doesn't look like much, right?" A second later, he tapped the interface with icy calculated precision. Flexing his muscles, he explained that top-tier gear morphs when the right conditions are triggered. The The viewers were shook. How does he know this hidden lore? My man is playing like a pro. Subaru vanished into the cave's abyss. Time to delete that monster, he declared as the crowd roared. Nuke it with that thunder, they screamed. Meanwhile, Belusar's face was a mask of pure paralyzing terror. He and Dale stood frozen before a massive lidless eye. The giant's casual stretch sent ripples of dread. It tossed its silver mane back, unleashing a bone-chilling roar, while hunger dripped from its jagged maw. The system flashed. Giant Seed has devoured the records. Suddenly a knight charged blindly, making Belusar scream. Are you insane? Belusar cried, hot tears streaming as he broke into a manic, hopeless laugh. I warned you, fools, he shrieked. Lord, I refuse to die like these other pathetic losers. He hit the dirt, begging for his life. The Titan loomed, its voice booming like thunder. Mercy. Don't group me with cowards. It raised a hand. Dale sprinted forward, shouting, What are you doing? Move, Belusar. Save the villagers, Dale yelled, but suddenly the air turned heavy and he froze. Dale, the knight shrieked. A sickening thud echoed as both were pulverized right before Belusar's eyes. Through the suffocating dust, Belusar realized victory was impossible. He scanned the chaos, hunting for an exit. His heart dropped. A legion of giants blocked the rear. They were trapped. His eyes widened in shock. Sweat drenched his face as he gritted his teeth. Then, snapping completely, Belusar shrieked at the monster. I know who murdered your child. I know exactly who did it. The giant's attention snapped back. Who took my son? It hissed with murderous intent. Belusar gripped his sword, his hands shaking violently. He pointed his trembling blade toward the horizon. The killer went that way. He's escaping. He's building power to wipe out your entire race. Belusar lied, praying the beast would bite. The giant glared toward the hills before spinning around with a terrifying roar. Lies, your soul reeks. My son's killer isn't there. Did you really think that ragged sword would save you from me? Speak now or die. Suddenly, a violent surge of lightning from the peaks made the Titan freeze. The beast stood paralyzed by the spectacle. Belusar gasped, his jaw hitting the floor. Wait, over there. A massive hurricane of electricity was tearing through the summit. Is that our savior? He stammered. Perched on the peak, Subaru looked down. The system chimed, Act 7, the Will of Thunder commences. Perfect. This is the endgame, he whispered. The chat exploded. Yo, that storm is getting massive. It kept expanding. Subaru realized, if this got any stronger, it would break the trial's difficulty entirely. This wasn't a level 2 trial anymore. It was a massacre. The comment section was a chaotic blur. This is pure nightmare fuel, one fan wrote. Subaru, you're seriously going to fight that thing? Run for it, they begged. But Subaru, battered and bleeding, just gave a cold stare. It's fine. I don't need a miracle, just one clean hit. He summoned the spear, knowing it was now or never. A head-on clash was suicide. He had to erase it before it reached him. Subaru raised his arm. Initiate lightning spear. A blinding pillar of white light pierced the heavens, charging the atmosphere with power. Sync rate 10.1%. Thousands of electric blades materialized, swirling into an endless, lethal vortex. Subaru stood his ground, channeling energy as the system warned fatigue has reached 84%. His arm didn't budge despite the fatigue hitting 85. Subaru flexed his fingers, gripping an invisible hilt. A spear surged into existence. Activation at 33%. Subaru locked his grip around the crackling shaft. System alert: greedy spearhead fails to negate the backlash. Compatibility with the lightning spear is dangerously low. Blood splattered as he coughed. My level is too low for this legendary weapon, he groaned internally. Still, his body had to endure. Fatigue hit 88. Activation climbed steadily to 50%. Comments flooded the screen. Since mastering lightning, this guy has been through absolute hell and back. Is he a masochist? He's addicted to the pain. Subaru flinched as the behemoth loomed closer. It spotted him. The chat roasted him. Duh. You're glowing like a neon sign, bro. He aimed the spear. Yeah, I'm making a scene. It'd be weird if it didn't see me. Activation 78%. The Titan glared at the blinding light and growled in fury. Thunder. It hissed with pure hatred. Are you the one who slaughtered my precious child? The beast charged. Bella screamed, Get back here, I'm the one you're supposed to fight. He glanced aside. Other giants were storming through a literal sea of flames toward the front lines. But the Alpha focused on the lightning-clad mountain. My son suffered because of you, it muttered. Its expression darkened with grief. You endured so much, my boy, the beast whispered while moving. I'll make them feel your agony. Its thundering footsteps shook the very earth with every stride. The beast sprinted, throwing a massive fist. I'll repay this debt with interest, it roared. It lunged at Subaru, jaws wide. He gripped the lightning spear with ironclad resolve. System initializing lightning spear. 88%. It's a 50-50 shot, Subaru thought. Chat went wild. How's he gonna throw that? The boss is moving way too fast. If he misses, it's game over. But Subaru's gaze was locked onto the target. A vision of his captain appeared. Don't blink. Keep your eyes glued to the mark. No matter what, focus on the target. That's where the spear starts. Forget the throw. Don't worry about the arc or predicting movements. Clear your mind of that useless junk. Ignore trajectory and wait. You aren't like those other ordinary spear users. Because you're Subaru. Hearing that, he smirked and tightened his legendary grip. Reality snapped back. Activation 95%. Subaru questioned his next move. He sighed. Well, this isn't exactly your average everyday spear anyway. He grinned. Simple then. I won't just throw it. I'll launch it. The giant closed the gap. Chat panicked. What are you waiting for? Release it now. Shoot or you're dead. Subaru just stared down the charging monster for a second longer. The Titan accelerated, stomping so hard the ground shattered beneath its massive weight. It blasted forward like a missile, leaping high into the air to deliver a strike. Soaring above the beast unleashed devastating power as Subaru's spear crackled with lethal electricity. He dropped into a stance. 100%. Initialization successful. He pulled back, muscles coiled. One shot. That's all I get. The beast roared. It dove down, claws reaching out. I'll finish this in a single blow. Subaru launched the lightning spear. It pierced the beast, triggering a cataclysmic, earth-shattering explosion. The monster shrieked, tears falling. Its final breath whispered a name, Beidan. Its body dissolved into ash. Subaru emerged from the smoke looking like an absolute boss. Chat went ballistic. Goat, that was insane. He's literally built different. Boss defeated. Stage 7 complete. The level up notifications began to spam his vision. Strength +2, agility +2, health +3, 5,000 achievement points earned. Item acquired, Thunder Core. A radiant gem materialized right in front of him. The Thunder Core. This is it. He reached out to touch the glowing prize. A searing radiance forced his lids shut. Seconds later, Subaru blinked in pure shock as the scenery shifted. He stood in a violet realm. Suddenly, a massive figure appeared in the sky, glaring down at him. He recoiled. The crushing pressure felt like agony. Paralyzed and silent, he collapsed to the floor. His body froze. System alerts flooded his vision as hidden entities watched him. A cryptic entity is observing you. The warning flashed repeatedly. A mysterious being watches. Subaru's eyes widened. Was this an omen? The Thunder Core flared, light spilling through his fingers and shattering the darkness. The sky cleared. Alert, the Thunder Core now triggers the main stage lightning. Search the village. Having escaped that void, Subaru finally noticed the buzzing chat. Why collapse now? Stream ended. Subaru looks like he is passing out again. He looked up. No cinematic. Sorry, I blanked out. The chat went wild. Fainting already typical Subaru. That shadow trial was legendary tier. He grabbed the tablet. Time to claim my reputation points. Anisan's quest cleared. 3,000 points earned. War God mission complete. 3,000 points gained. Total 40,120. Chat teased. Loaded. Heading back. Show us the core, he sighed. I am exhausted. Fans got triggered. Paul, you greedy money-grubbing bastard. He waved goodbye. See you later. Subaru signed off. Stream ended. Inside a shop, Hatsuka's voice echoed. You crushed it. Subaru doubted, was that broadcast really okay? Flawless. Yesterday you peaked at over 3,000. He froze. 3,000, I was locked in. I wasn't watching. She gasped. No, that's incredible, don't you see? That's insane for a rookie. Ending while exhausted actually made it better. Exactly. That kept everyone on their toes. They're hyped for more. Was this calculated? I'll unbox rewards live. I want a real reaction. No acting. She was stunned. You get it. That old man's worry was pointless. I have a gift for you. She crossed her legs. You won't be able to turn this down. Special gift. Yes. Blushing, she said, search Hoki. Subaru searched. A blonde man appeared. Today's topic. Should I switch topics? Let's go. Check this out. The next Nazukami, or the original reborn. Chat exploded. More Nazuki Otaku. That was wild. Every detail explained. Later, as the sunset faded, he was still analyzing that brutal challenge. He doubled the difficulty mid-test. Hatsuka sat opposite. Watching Subaru face flushed. Hoki raised a finger. To summarize just one single sentence. Subaru listened. He is Subaru Nazukiyami. His voice oozed ego. No more info needed. Does the manager agree? She leaned in. Question. Go ahead. She stammered. I know. Rude for a manager. Her cheeks turned crimson. Sweat trickled down. She summoned her courage. Why stream like that, Nazuki? Her eyes searched as desperate for a deeper meaning. It's not just for the cash, is it? Subaru went silent, arms locked. Hatsuka stood frozen, jaw dropped, her anxiety peaking as she waited. When he finally spoke, his words hit like a sledgehammer. It's strictly about the bag, nothing else. At that, her face flushed a shade of crimson even deeper than before. She sank into her seat, steam practically venting from her ears in sheer humiliation. Right, money matters. My bad for being cringe. All good, Subaru replied. Suddenly, she reached into her bag with a realization. Oh, I almost forgot the gift. Let's discuss this gift. Hoki, the streamer from the clip, is officially backed by the powerhouse agency Star of Entertainment. He is a veteran creator locked into a 6-year deal, famous for his razor-sharp analysis and unique broadcast style. With a massive cult following and a legendary nose for talent, he sent this specifically for you. Regarding Hoki's recent broadcast, every cent generated from future content featuring you will be split 50-50. Narrowing his eyes, he questioned split with who Hatsuka didn't miss a beat. With you, obviously. Since it is based on your clips, ads, donations, and archive views, everything is on the table. Grabbing the heavy contract, Subaru realized that signing with this agency was the ultimate W. Good vibes just keep coming. His praise made her turn beet red again. She avoided his gaze, fidgeting with her cheek. You really think so? Absolutely. This gift is a shocker, he replied. Hatsuka nervously brushed her hair back. This is out of the blue, but as a sign of respect, how about a collab with Hoki? Time skipped forward. Back at his place, Subaru peeled off his mask. Maybe I don't need this disguise out in public anymore. And maybe I should stop capping about the money, he muttered, staring at his reflection in the mirror. Building connections makes it tricky to know what to gatekeep. He then turned his focus toward the glowing system panel. Greed, Spike. Level 3 has evolved into Rank C, skill type Level 4. Upon activation, it cancels all negative side effects from skills and items. Upgradable via 80,000 prestige points. Subaru's jaw dropped. 80,000 for Rank C, I literally only have 120 points. He sighed. Regardless of optics, securing the bag is priority 1. At least the Hoki collab is locked in. Day after tomorrow we feast. He reached deep into the void of the system inventory. Is this it? He withdrew a single flower. Time to grind. Meanwhile, the camera cuts to Hatsuka. She was face down on her pillow, her entire face and hands glowing bright red. Hatsuka couldn't stop picturing Subaru's godly, angelic features. It's for the money, duh. She pummeled her pillow, screaming. Exactly. A massive secret lurks behind that sleek mask. If I pry too much, I'll only end up getting burned. She kept boxing the pillow. I won't ask. I'm dying to know, but I'm keeping my distance. Subaru's voice echoed in her head. Meeting you was my biggest win. Her face flushed an intense, fiery red. She threw a haymaker. Me too, damn it. The strike was so violent that the pillow casing disintegrated. Fluff and feathers exploded everywhere, filling the air. She was totally down bad for Subaru Nazukami. A man shrouded in mystery. Seeing him in the flesh only made him feel more like a legend. Cut to Noza's 7th floor, a skyline of majestic architecture that radiated pure, unadulterated menace. Inside the castle's glowing interior, a figure crushed a workout while Hoki's broadcast looped on a massive screen. I've seen enough. Let's wrap this up. The man's knuckles glistened with sweat as he prepared to move. The bar groaned under his weight during pull-ups. Talking, not my vibe. Choose a tone, casual or formal. And who's the clown on screen? His subordinate answered. That's Hoki, a top-tier streamer. He averages 8,000 live viewers. This jacked beast was Kuzoka Amon of the Lamian. He dropped from the bar. A streamer, huh? Guess I'll have to see what the hype is about. A shadowy figure stepped forward. Forget Hoki. Focus on Subaru Nazukami. Amon's eyebrows shot up. Oh, him. So the fraud finally mastered lightning. As Subaru's fight replayed, Amon let out a sharp, impressed laugh. Huh, that's actually cracked. The mysterious aide chimed in. You really think so? The Super Spear Knight of Lamian once preached that true mastery means never losing sight of your target. The aide gasped. Wait, Amon. You actually remembered a throwaway line like that? Amon glanced upward. I trained to devour their essence, their breath, their very soul. These players once ruled the peak. But everyone missed a vital detail. Lamian wasn't just Subaru. Every single member was elite. Their demises are wrapped in shadows. Suddenly, Hoki's voice rang out. He is the legendary Subaru Nazukami. No words needed. Amon's irritation flared instantly. Why is this cocky brat so arrogant? The mysterious figure finally replied. Streamers are all the same, right? They'll sell their souls just for a few views. Amon reached his limit and aggressively shut off the screen. He glared at the man, fuming. Why show me this? The man stuttered. Not me. It was Guildmaster Kiyoso's order. Amon froze at the name. Kiyoso. Lightning defines Lamian, our guild's true ancestor. A heavy cart was wheeled forward. This streamer is obsessed with cash. He unveiled the cart. Golden light blinded them. Amon's jaw dropped. Beneath the veil lay a massive mountain of pure gold bars. We have the funds. Recruit him whatever the price. Amon's voice trembled in shock. No way. He rubbed his chin. So he's just a money-hungry sellout, huh? Villagers labored over the ruins. The system announced the second-floor challenge was beginning. Belusor barked orders. Get the wounded inside. Prioritize the critical survivors first. Hand out medicine immediately. Then, familiar footsteps echoed nearby, catching his attention. Belusor beamed like he'd seen a savior. He shouted with pure joy, Benefactor. You're finally awake. We were terrified when you collapsed outside the village gates. I didn't know what to do without you. Subaru stretched, head still spinning. Belusor nodded. It only happened yesterday, so rest up. Enough of that now. Can we talk at the inn? I have questions. Subaru bowed in agreement. Ask anything. Belusor placed a hand over his heart in a respectful salute. See you soon. Subaru watched him leave, thinking he's truly a rare soul. Chad agreed. Is his trauma finally ending? Someone joked. Happy wedding day. Later in his cabin, Subaru opened the menu. Time to check the loot. He gripped a glowing sphere. Item Thunder Core. Bound. Unique. No level limit. 30% lightning resistance. Massive protection against electric shocks. Is this for real? Subaru gasped. The viewers were split between hype and confusion. Was he disappointed or thrilled? Only Subaru knew the truth behind the mask. These stats were perfect for him. A wide grin was hidden beneath his mask. This is insane. Suddenly, a sharp knock at the door broke his celebration. Take this, please. A visitor entered carrying a heavy basket of fresh fruit. Everyone was baffled, including the viewers. Wait, fruit? Really? Belusor peeked inside. Rest well, chat started trolling. Is the boyfriend here? Someone missed you. Why fruit though? Soon they were sitting face to face. After a pause, Subaru spoke. So the old legend is actually true. Belusor beamed. Yes, I saw that light. You saved us all, hero. Subaru pulled out the prize. This dropped from the giant. The Thunder Core. Belusor's face went pale. No, it can't be. Subaru leaned in with hope. You recognize this? Belusor shook his head. No, it looks completely alien. Subaru felt a chill. The chat exploded with laughter and skeptical comments. He definitely knows something. Mr. Know-It-All is acting suspicious again. Belusor looked down ashamed. I only know ancient myths. I'm not even sure. Subaru sighed, giving up. It's fine. Just tell me what you've heard. I know of 2 distinct legends. Subaru's interest peaked. 2. A faint memory flickered in his mind. Ancient lore tells of lightning forged for one purpose, slaying giants. You've actually found it, benefactor, he remarked. The second myth speaks of a cosmic war between gods and giants for control. They went to war over this, Subaru cut in. Belusor gave a solemn nod. Indeed. It's the ultimate legend of our world. Immortals and titans clashed for the heaven's fire. In the end, the giants fell. Then this stone was crafted with intent, Subaru mused, twirling the jewel. But who possessed such godlike power? The truth wasn't written in text, but it was undeniable. Belusor sensed the boy's silent question. It was meant for mankind to wield. His face darkened with intensity as he continued. Against the gods and titans, humanity was nothing. Belusor realized mortals stood no chance against such overwhelming might. He envisioned a future where every human held the spark of storms. Staring at the gem, he spoke with absolute certainty. This was forged to level the playing field, to let us finally win. Right then, the air shifted. A system window flared to life. Hidden myths unlocked. Trial of the storm cleared. Mastery surged, gained 17,050 achievement points. Lightning manipulation evolved. Level 1 to level 3. Suddenly, a warp field engulfed Subaru, pulling him toward the 3rd floor. Belusor gasped in shock, benefactor. Wait, what's going on? The blinding flash vanished instantly, leaving only an empty space where Subaru stood. Belusor stood frozen in confusion. Meanwhile, Subaru materialized in Anthenia, the breathtaking palace city of the 3rd floor. He descended into the city square like a divine avatar. The livestream viewers went absolutely wild with comments. I've finally conquered the 2nd floor, one typed. Nah, keep it cool, another joked. I'm here. The local residents just rolled their eyes annoyed. Great, another Natsuki wannabe. Total cringe. When will this hype die down? Before he could move, a prompt appeared. Subaru, your Natsuki class status awards you 1,000 reputation points. Welcome to floor 3. Quick check-in. How's the vibe right now? Blindsided by the system's interview, Subaru blanked. How do I feel? He mused, searching for words. Memories flooded back as he looked around. I'm home. Back then, a soft voice had stopped him. Pardon me. Surprised, Subaru had spun around. The recollection hit him with a heavy dose of nostalgia. She had seemed so intimidatingly beautiful then. I've lost my group, Xena stammered, using her hands to explain. She motioned to a height level with his. Seen anyone this tall? Subaru rubbed his chin, playing the part. He's a bit taller than me. Suddenly a memory clicked. Wait, actually I have, Subaru replied. I know exactly who you mean. Xena's eyes lit up with hope. He pointed toward the horizon. He headed that way. Without a second thought, she sprinted off. Thanks a million, she chirped, running like a naive kid. Meanwhile, Subaru stayed put, scanning the area nervously as if he were the one being hunted. After a fruitless search, Xena's gaze drifted back to him. Eventually, Subaru had no choice but to let her follow. I'm heading that way too, so let's team up. That day, Xena's joy peaked.